Chapter 423. Swoosh! After passing through the spacetime crack's light screen door, Yang Dingtian and the others were in the secret realm's passageway. In front of them was the incomparably beautiful Bing Ling. The passageway was dark, but Bing Ling's body emitted a faint light. Congratulations, you've passed the Despair City's secret realm's trial. You can leave now. Bing Ling said, I'll bring you out. Yang Dingtian's heart trembled. Bing Ling had been in her room all this time. Who would have thought that she would be waiting here? All right, thank you, Miss Bing Ling, Yang Dingtian said. Then, Bing Ling led the way, and they arrived at the 5th floor's stone room. Then, she patted the stone wall lightly, and a stone door opened. In front of them was a faint light screen door. The light screen door was very thin, and they could vaguely see the scenery outside. Outside was the desolate and strange scenery of the demon domain. Everyone couldn't help but feel excited. Previously, they felt that the demon domain's scenery was too desolate and strange. Now, after being trapped in the Despair City's secret realm for several months, they felt that the demon domain's scenery was incomparably warm. This light screen door leads to the outside. Bing Ling said, as long as you pass through this door, you can leave. Yang Dingtian smiled and said, that's great, but we still have some things to do. We still need to cultivate under the holy light pillar on the 1st floor. Is that okay? Bing Ling was stunned for a moment, then she smiled and said, of course. Yang Dingtian said to Qin Huayu, you guys go up first. Yes. Qin Huayu bowed. Song Chunhua said, how about I stay? No need. Yang Dingtian said. After Qin Huayu, Song Chunhua, and the others left, Yang Dingtian sat down on the stone bench. He took the chess pieces from the chessboard and smiled at Bing Ling. Miss Bing Ling, I've been to the 5 Elements Hall's secret realm before. The trials in that secret realm were incomparably difficult, but the final trial sounded very dangerous. In fact, I passed it easily. Is that so? The Ice Spirit smiled and said, you guys passed the final trial of Despair City's secret realm very easily. That's right. We really have to thank Miss Ice Spirit for this. If it weren't for you, we might not even have been able to pass through the Devil Prison Cave Maze, Yang Dingtian said. You're welcome. This is what I should do. The Ice Spirit said, if there's nothing else, I hope you can leave as soon as possible. I've been alone for too long, and I'm not used to having other life forms around me. All right, Yang Dingtian said with a smile, I have 2 questions that I would like Miss Bing Ling to answer. Speak. The Ice Spirit said. Yang Dingtian picked up the chess piece and chessboard in his hand and said, this chess piece and chessboard should have a history of several thousand years. Why does it feel so new, without any trace of time? What's the second question? The Ice Spirit asked. Yang Dingtian, in the Devil Prison Cavern, when the demonic phoenix escaped, you chased after it. You should have guessed that the demonic phoenix would leave behind a large number of flaming beasts, enough to kill us countless times. If you want to kill us, why do you want to borrow the demonic phoenix's hand and not do it yourself? With your strength, killing us should be as easy as flipping your hand. As soon as these words came out, the Ice Spirit's face suddenly changed and turned cold. In an instant, all the kindness on her face disappeared. At the same time, the entire cave was icy cold, as if the air had completely frozen. The Ice Spirit suddenly became incomparably arrogant and indifferent. As cold as ice and frost, high and mighty. These questions, can I trouble Miss Bing Ling to answer them for me? Yang Dingtian said lightly. Sure. The Ice Spirit said coldly, if you want to know, come in with me. After saying that, the Ice Spirit turned around and pushed open the door, returning to her room. Yang Dingtian followed. The Ice Spirit's room was resplendent like a crystal palace. Yang Dingtian, you're very smart. The Ice Spirit said lightly, that's right, this so-called Go game was made by me when you entered the 5th level of the trial room. Also, the so-called chess game was something I found in your mind. I deliberately let you win. Yang Dingtian said, I was wondering why my luck was so good. Why would a Go game appear, and I just happened to be able to solve it? What about the second question? The Ice Spirit said, the second question is because of the highest standard of the secret realm. I'm a person of the secret realm. I can't kill the guests of the secret realm personally, so I can only borrow the demonic phoenix's hand to kill you. Of course, I really couldn't predict that you would find the demonic phoenix's egg, which allowed you to escape with your lives. Yang Dingtian said, then, we're faced with the third question. Why do you want to kill us? Isn't this a simple matter? The Ice Spirit sneered. Killing you is my mission. No, this is contradictory. Yang Dingtian said, you said before that you can't kill us. So, you have to borrow the demonic phoenix's hand. Then, according to your understanding? The Ice Spirit said coldly. My understanding? Yang Dingtian said, you're not called the Ice Spirit at all. The reason why you named yourself the Ice Spirit is because I have an unforgettable name in my mind, Dongfang Bingling. Moreover, your appearance, temperament, and aura are almost exactly the same as her. You know, like this, you can make me fall head over heels for you. Good story. The Ice Spirit said, please continue. Your name should be the Demonic Spirit. Yang Dingtian said, of course, it's not the ugly demonic spirit, but the demonic spirit of the demonic spirit fire. You're the demonic spirit fire's primordial spirit. You and the demonic spirit fire are one. The 5th level's trial mission is to destroy you. Destroy me? The Ice Spirit sneered. Don't you think it's ridiculous? You've seen my strength. With just the 5 of you, do you think you can destroy me? The cultivation of the Despair City's secret realm is harder with each level. You're the highest boss of the secret realm, so of course, you're the strongest. Yang Dingtian said, but without exception, every boss of the Despair City's secret realm has a weakness. There's the Millennium Owl, the Negative Demon, the Illusory Void Demon, and the 2000-year Demonic Spirit. Of course, as the highest boss of the secret realm, you also have a weakness. What weakness? I'd like to know. The Ice Spirit sneered. The first weakness is that even though the disparity in strength between us is extremely great, you'll never be able to kill us. The second weakness is that as the 5th level's trial opens, as the time for the demonic spirit fire to bloom draws closer, your energy is weakening every day. Of course, you also have something that can kill us. That is a trap, such as the trap in the Devil Prison Cave, or the so-called light screen door that just opened to leave the secret realm. Yang Dingtian said, behind that light screen door should be an endless illusory void. After entering, you'll be completely lost. In the end, Yang Dingtian looked at the Ice Spirit and said, do you think I'm right? The story is very interesting. The Ice Spirit said indifferently, then what are you going to do? Of course, I'm going to do as the trial mission said and destroy you. Yang Dingtian said. Then how are you going to destroy me? The Ice Spirit sneered and mocked. If I'm not wrong, the time for the demonic spirit fire to bloom is very, very close. So you're already extremely weak because all your energy will be transferred to the demonic spirit fire that's about to bloom. Yang Dingtian said, do you think I'm right? The mocking expression on the Ice Spirit's face became even more obvious. He said indifferently, yes, everything you said is right. But so what? What do you mean? Yang Dingtian said. Yang Dingtian, it's still too early for you to say these words. The Ice Spirit sneered, the time you came to find me is still a bit too early. There's still about 2 hours before the demonic spirit fire blooms. Although at this time, the energy in my body is only less than 1,000th of my peak state, it's more than enough to deal with you. Then, the Ice Spirit said with a smile, if you really came to find me 15 minutes before the demonic spirit fire was born, then I really wouldn't know what to do. At that time, I was really weak to the extreme and completely powerless. But now, it's really too easy for me to deal with you. After saying that, the Ice Spirit gently opened her jade-like hand. Whoosh! Suddenly, a bone-piercing cold wind blew. Suddenly, her entire room was completely frozen. Everything was frozen. Yang Dingtian's entire body was completely frozen. He couldn't move at all. Not to mention destroying the ice spirit, he couldn't even move a finger. He couldn't control the demonic spirit fire. "Don't worry, I can't kill you, and I can't kill you," the ice spirit said. "It won't be long before you recover." But at that time, the demonic spirit fire would have completely bloomed and disappeared. So, you can only watch as the demonic spirit fire ignites, matures, blooms, and disappears. The fourth demonic spirit fire in the world is only half a step away from you. You only need to gently inject some demonic spirit fire, and you can have it. Unfortunately, it's so close, but so far away. Yang Dingtian could hear Bing Ling's words and could see her. However, he couldn't move an inch of his body. Even his demonic spirit fire and demonic spirit fire couldn't be controlled at all. Do you know that when a heaven and earth demonic spirit fire blooms 5 times, but it hasn't been collected once? A fire spirit will be born. I'm the fire spirit of the demonic spirit fire. The ice spirit said, "A year after I was born, it wasn't easy for me to change into this beautiful form. I have a life, a soul, and a mind of my own. Of course, I don't want to disappear, I don't want to die. But, once the demonic spirit fire is really collected, I'll really disappear completely. I'll have to wait for another 1,000 years, when the demonic spirit fire blooms 5 times and no one collects it, then I'll be born again. I can't wait another 1,000 years, so I definitely don't want my demonic spirit fire to be taken away by others. So, you're my mortal enemies. Actually, the 5th floor of the Despair City's trial didn't have to kill you. Just like you said, as the highest boss of the 5th floor, I have 2 fatal flaws. First, I'll never be able to kill you. Second, I'll be constantly weakened. So, the 5th floor of the trial was supposed to give you a huge boost in your cultivation. Because you're fighting against a saint-level expert. And you'll definitely be able to kill me in the end, because I'll be extremely weak. In order to prevent the demonic spirit fire from being collected, in order to prevent me from disappearing, I had to think of a way. So, I had to think of a way to kill you. But, I can't kill you myself, so I had to borrow someone else's hand. Also, I can't force you to do anything. So, I thought of a plan. The ice spirit said, "I found an earth-level demonic fire and disguised it as the demonic spirit fire to take you to collect it. In fact, it's a scorching sun demonic fire about 3,800 miles away from the Despair City. There's a powerful guardian demonic beast there, the demonic fire demonic phoenix. I could borrow its hand to kill you. Moreover, what's even better is that the devil prison cave where the scorching sun demonic fire is located has appeared in your mind before. You've been there before during the spiritual trial. This way, you won't have any suspicions. So, I used the saint-level energy to open a space-time door and let you go to the devil prison cave." The ice spirit said, "That's right, this space-time door was opened by me, not by the secret realm itself. After going to the devil prison cave, I used the demonic phoenix's hand to kill you. This way, I wouldn't violate the secret realm's rules and could successfully kill you. My plan was flawless. But I didn't expect that you would accidentally find the demonic phoenix's egg, allowing you to escape with your lives. My plan to kill you failed." The ice spirit said, "But that's nothing, as long as the demonic spirit fire isn't taken away. If you want to deal with me, you'll have to wait at least 200 years. But by that time, your bones will have already turned to ashes. Alright, I've finished speaking. Let's wait here quietly for the demonic spirit fire to bloom. Don't worry, this stone door of mine is also made of energy. After it closes, your companions won't be able to come in and save you." Then, the ice spirit sat cross-legged in front of Yang Dingtian and quietly closed her beautiful eyes. Time passed, but time also seemed to be frozen. 10 minutes passed. 15 minutes passed. Half an hour passed. 3/4 of an hour passed. Yang Dingtian was sealed in ice and couldn't move at all. However, he could see and hear. He could clearly see that the ice spirit's powerful energy was quickly draining away. That's right, her power was getting weaker and weaker. That's right, young Ding Tian came too early. So, she was completely sealed in ice and couldn't move at all. Not only could she not move her body, she couldn't use her profound energy either. She couldn't even ignite her heart flame and burn her chi si. Half an hour passed. 3/4 of an hour passed. 3/4 of an hour passed. 3/4 of an hour passed. There should be less than 1/4 of an hour left before the demonic spirit fire bloomed. At this time, no energy could be felt from the ice spirit's body. She was just like a beautiful ordinary woman. She should be extremely weak. Perhaps anyone who came would be able to destroy her with a light punch. Unfortunately, Yang Dingtian was sealed in ice. Qin Huayu and Song Chunhua would never be able to break the energy stone door and enter. Then, the ending would be just like what the ice spirit said. Yang Dingtian would have to watch the demonic spirit fire burn, bloom, mature, and disappear. After the demonic spirit fire disappeared, the ice spirit would completely recover and become even stronger than before. Then, Yang Dingtian would completely fail the 5th level trial. Then, he wouldn't be able to get out. He would have to wait for the mirage to disappear in 10 days. But by then, Cloud Sky City would have been destroyed. The corpses of the people in Cloud Sky City would have already started to rot. It was as if the end of despair had already been decided. Suddenly, the ice spirit, who had turned into an ordinary woman, revealed a sarcastic and cruel smile. She said, "Yang Dingtian, your failure has already been decided. I know you will face a very tragic situation, but what does it have to do with me?" At this time, the ice spirit's beautiful face didn't hide anything. It was filled with cruelty and coldness. It was understandable that she wanted to live. But seeing Yang Dingtian's tragic end, she still sneered. That was the viciousness and harshness in her heart. "Yang Dingtian, your tragic end has already been decided. I really sympathize with you. Ha ha ha. Just you wait. The demonic spirit fire is about to bloom. You can only watch it bloom and then watch it extinguish. Then, you can only watch as I continue to recover and become even stronger than before. Maybe one day, I will be strong enough to break out of this cage called the Despair City and come to your world. At that time, maybe your world will be in complete despair." Ha 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 ha, the ice spirit didn't care about her beautiful appearance at all. She let out an arrogant and cold laugh. At this time, bang! Suddenly, the sword at Yang Dingtian's waist flew out and smashed the ice on Yang Dingtian's body into pieces. Suddenly, Yang Dingtian regained his ability to move. He suddenly stood up, grabbed the sword and came in front of the ice spirit. Suddenly, the incomparably weak yet incomparably beautiful ice spirit was completely stunned. She suddenly screamed, "How is this possible? How is this possible? Why is it like this? You have frozen my body. I can't move at all. But my mind and my spirit can still move." Yang Dingtian said, "Although my soul sword hasn't refined a sword soul, it already has a life. I can already use my spirit to control it. Don't you know? That's how I defeated the Millennium Owl on the 1st level of the training room. But, there was a special energy that entered your soul sword. But after it entered, it fell into a deep sleep. Your soul sword has a life, but it's chaotic like a baby. It can't understand your commands at all." The ice spirit said sharply. "That's the spirit energy of the Naga royalty." Yang Dingtian said, "That's right, it was already asleep, but I woke it up." "Impossible, you can't wake up a powerful energy that's asleep. It's not the dark fire in your body." The ice spirit said. "Yes." Yang Dingtian said, "So I can only use one way to wake it up, and that is to commit suicide. That is to use a spirit technique to completely kill my own consciousness and brain. My soul sword and I share a life. If I die, the soul sword will die. The spirit energy of the Naga sleeping in the soul sword will also die. It didn't want to die, so of course it woke up. So, I used my spirit to control the sword and broke the ice. After hearing Yang Dingtian's explanation, the ice spirit was horrified and looked at Yang Dingtian in disbelief. That's right, Yang Dingtian used a spirit technique to commit suicide. Moreover, he directly activated it. How could he use a spirit technique to commit suicide? It was very simple. Yang Dingtian had a few methods. For example, during the spirit trial, he could reverse the evil soul art and swallow his own soul. Just like how Yang Dingtian dealt with Wu Xingwen in the southwest mainland. Yang Dingtian was frozen and couldn't use his spirit energy. But during the spirit trial, he could still use the spirit illusion in his mind. Reversing the evil soul art would allow him to commit suicide, destroy his own soul, and turn him into an idiot. Of course, Yang Dingtian didn't know if this could awaken the sleeping spirit energy of the Naga royalty in the soul sword. But he could only try. Anyway, if he couldn't get out of the Despair City's secret realm, Cloud Sky City would be destroyed. His family and loved ones would all be finished. Then, he would suffer a fate worse than death. So, even if it was suicide, even if it didn't succeed, and Yang Dingtian really became a walking corpse, he still had to try. He risked it all. He didn't hesitate at all for this risk. Then, he succeeded. Sensing the threat of death, the Naga royalty's spirit energy immediately woke up. Then, under Yang Dingtian's control, it controlled the soul sword to break the ice, allowing Yang Dingtian to regain his ability to move. Then, it immediately went back to sleep. Yang Dingtian stood in front of Bing Ling. Bing Ling's delicate body began to tremble. She said with a trembling voice, "What do you want? You should be completely powerless right now, right?" Yang Dingtian said indifferently, "You should be extremely weak right now." "Yes." Bing Ling said with a trembling voice, "What do you want? If you want to kill me, do it." "Miss Bing Ling, I really just wanted to negotiate with you and beg you to let me pass the 5th level of the trial. I can even give up the demon soul demon fire." Yang Dingtian said, "Even if you tried to kill us, I can forgive you. But I really didn't expect you to be so vicious." Bing Ling's beautiful face looked at Yang Dingtian. "Yang Dingtian, you are indeed a heaven-defying person. You can even turn the tables in this situation. You are also ruthless. You actually killed yourself to awaken the Naga royalty's spirit energy. You win. Do it. Kill me. Winner takes all. I am willing to accept defeat." At this moment, Bing Ling closed her beautiful eyes. Her face was full of sarcasm. She sneered and said, "At worst, I will wait for another 1,000 years. At that time, if I can get out, I will find your descendants and kill them all. You have successfully angered me. There is still half an hour before the mystic fire blooms." Yang Dingtian said indifferently, "Anyway, you are weak now. I don't mind torturing you to punish you for your previous viciousness." After saying that, Yang Dingtian stepped forward and lifted her chin. "You are so realistic. You look exactly like a real beauty," Yang Dingtian said. "My body is real. It took me 1,000 years to create it," the ice spirit said. "Is that so?" Yang Dingtian sneered. His face was full of evil light. Then, she slapped Bing Ling's face. It did not swell or bleed. Then, Yang Dingtian slapped Bing Ling's face a few more times. Still, there was no change. "It seems that I can only use the most humiliating way to humiliate you." Yang Dingtian grabbed her long hair and forced her to kneel on the ground. "No!" Bing Ling's voice was full of anger and hatred. Yang Dingtian roared, "Woman, don't ever underestimate how noble I am to my friends and family. But, don't ever underestimate how cruel and shameless I am to my enemies." About 10 minutes later. Suddenly, an incomparably beautiful green flame was gently born on the candlestick. Yang Dingtian had seen this candlestick before. When they were playing chess, Bing Ling was holding this candlestick. This was the demon spirit demon fire, the real demon spirit demon fire. The heaven and earth mystic flame was ranked 4th among the 9 flames in the world. It was even more mysterious and powerful than Yang Dingtian's million-spirit demon fire. It took tens of thousands of miles of strange demonic realm to give birth to this demon-spirit demon fire. Moreover, no one had picked this flame for thousands of years. As a result, the incomparably beautiful Huoling was born. At this moment, seeing the birth of the demon-spirit demon fire, Yang Dingtian grabbed her snow-white neck and said, "Woman, although you are the most beautiful woman in the world and were once the most powerful woman in the world, you are close to a god. But sorry, I am going to kill you." After saying that, Yang Dingtian's hand tightened around her neck. He was going to kill Bing Ling. "No, don't kill me, don't kill me." Bing Ling exclaimed and said loudly, "I recognize you as my master. The demon spirit demon fire is yours. I am also yours. Don't kill me." Yang Dingtian was stunned. Chapter 424. Seeing Yang Dingtian stop as if he was very tempted, the ice spirit hurriedly said, "At this moment, all my energy will be poured into the mystic flame. So even if I survive, I will be powerless and will not be a threat to you. You have seen it too. My beauty and my figure can be said to be the best in the world. If you take me as your female slave, you will become the most envied man in the world. I can't be considered a human, but I have the exact same body as a human. You can do whatever you want. I will become the most coveted possession of men." On the other side, the incomparably beautiful and enchanting demon spirit demon fire was constantly maturing. And the ice spirit on the ground was releasing a shocking charm as she begged Yang Dingtian. Yang Dingtian's hand loosened slightly and said, "Didn't you say that as long as I devour the mystic flame, you will completely disappear and I will need to wait for another 1,000 years to give birth to a new fire spirit? So even if I don't kill you now, you will be completely annihilated in a while." When the ice spirit heard Yang Dingtian's words loosening, she was immediately filled with hope and said, "That's right. The reason why I am so weak now is because the mystic flame has extracted all the energy in my body. And when the mystic flame completely blooms, my soul will also be completely extracted. At that time, I will really be completely annihilated." Speaking until here, the ice spirit licked her lips and said, "So in order to prevent me from being completely annihilated, please start devouring before the mystic flame completely blooms. Of course, this way, the mystic flame's power will be slightly affected, but the loss of power will not reach 10%. Just 10% of the mystic flame's loss can be exchanged for a peerless beauty. Don't you think it's very worth it?" Yang Dingtian did not speak. The ice spirit continued, "I know that in your human civilization on the ground, a beauty like me who is close to the number one in the world is absolutely devastatingly beautiful. My value is almost greater than anything else. So losing 10% of the mystic flame's power is very worth it to you. And I know that your purpose of devouring the demon spirit demon fire is to strengthen the darkness mystic flame in your body. Moreover, although this demon spirit fiend fire is a mixed attribute, it is somewhat indistinguishable between yin and yang, but in the end, it is more of the ice attribute, so I named it ice spirit. Therefore, this devil spirit demon fire is even less useful to you. Don't you think it's extremely worth it to lose around 10% of the mystic flame's energy in exchange for my life?" Time ticked by. The demon spirit fiend fire grew bit by bit, blooming bit by bit. The ice spirit was so nervous that she almost couldn't breathe. Her beautiful face looked at Yang Dingtian expectantly. "Yang Dingtian, do you agree? Are you willing to spare my life?" "Master, can you sacrifice 10% of the mystic flame's power in exchange for my life? I will be your slave for the rest of my life. I will become your most beautiful, most obedient, and most enchanting female slave." As she pleaded, the ice spirit's body couldn't help but twitch. "Is your body really the same as a human woman's?" Yang Dingtian asked. "Yes, exactly the same," the ice spirit said. "I have the same reaction as a normal woman." "Then do you have a sea of qi? Do you have mystic veins?" Yang Dingtian asked. "Yes, of course," the ice spirit said. "I have everything that a real person has, but I really don't know if I can give birth to a child for master." Yang Dingtian looked at her and said, I am very very moved by your suggestion. Losing 10% of the mystic flame's power in exchange for you, the most beautiful woman in the world, is extremely worth it. Your beauty is enough to make any man in the world crazy. Suddenly, the ice spirit's beautiful face revealed a trace of joy. But Yang Dingtian said lightly, for a woman without feelings, even if she is beautiful, sleeping with her once or twice is enough. And the key is that I can't take any risks. You asked me to swallow the mystic flame in advance, and swallow the demon spirit fiend fire at 90%. Then what about the remaining 10%? Will it return to your body? Will you recover 10% of your previous energy? If that's the case, then my companions and I will die without a burial place. Even if you only have 1% of your energy left, you can easily kill us, so I won't take any risks. Once these words came out, the ice spirit's expression changed. She thought that she had already convinced Yang Dingtian and tempted Yang Dingtian. Who knew that Yang Dingtian would still be so rational and cold after taking her body? Almost instantly, the ice spirit's expression changed. The begging, weakness, charm, and pitifulness from before disappeared without a trace. She recovered her anger and coldness. She looked at Yang Dingtian and said coldly, then you still want to kill me? Think carefully. If you kill me now, I can be resurrected 1,000 years later. When I leave the secret realm, I'll look for your descendants and I'll kill them all. Think about it carefully and see if you can bear such a price. No, I won't kill you. Yang Dingtian said lightly, actually, there is a better way. The ice spirit was shocked and said, what way? The color of Yang Dingtian's eyes changed, and he reached out his hand to the ice spirit's head. Then, he suddenly chanted the evil soul art. Suddenly, the whole stone room darkened, and waves of ghostly wails and howls came out. The demon spirit fiend fire that was blooming suddenly trembled. Then, the whole stone room suddenly changed color, becoming terrifying and sinister. Following Yang Dingtian's chant, the whole stone room became louder and louder, and the cries of countless ghosts became louder and louder. The ice spirit's expression changed, revealing a horrified expression. Yang Dingtian, you're despicable, you're shameless, you'll go to the 18th level of hell. Hiss! Yang Dingtian suddenly opened his hands. Suddenly, a snow-white light was pulled out of the ice spirit's head. Yang Dingtian used the evil soul art to pull the ice spirit's soul out of her head. Ah! The ice spirit let out a terrifying cry. Huff! Yang Dingtian's hands suddenly pulled, and the snow-white light that looked like the ice spirit was suddenly pulled out of the ice spirit's body, and then poured into the soul ring. Instantly, the ice spirit's beautiful eyes lost all their luster. This incomparably beautiful body became a walking corpse in an instant. The ice spirit probably never dreamed that such a powerful person like her would have such an ending. That's right, her previous suggestion was still to trick Yang Dingtian. If Yang Dingtian agreed to her and swallowed the mysterious fire when 90% of its energy was blooming, then the remaining 10% would still return to the ice spirit's body. At that time, the ice spirit, who only had 10% of her energy left, could easily kill Yang Dingtian and the other 5 people. Of course, the ice spirit still couldn't kill Yang Dingtian and the others. But she could easily throw them into the illusory void. Then, Yang Dingtian and the others would never die, but they would be lost forever. Being blinded by lust was very tragic. Since you said that your body is exactly the same as a human's, with mysterious veins and sea of qi, then I feel that your body shouldn't be wasted. Yang Dingtian said indifferently, it's a pity that you don't have any mysterious qi in your sea of qi. Otherwise, I could refine you into a puppet war demon, and you would be invincible. Yang Dingtian patted the ice spirit's face lightly, and then put her aside. He sat cross-legged in front of the demon spirit demon flame, and quietly waited for the demon spirit demon flame to mature. At this moment, Yang Dingtian looked at the demon spirit demon flame seriously for the first time. This was the 4th mysterious fire in the world, 2 grades higher than Yang Dingtian's million spirit demon flame. Yang Dingtian had seen 4 mysterious fires. The first was the million-spirit demon flame, the second was the earth-level mysterious fire, the third was the phoenix heavenly fire, and the fourth was the demon-spirit demon flame in front of him. Without a doubt, the demon-spirit demon flame in front of him was more beautiful than the mysterious fires Yang Dingtian had seen before. Of course, this was just a feeling, and it was hard to describe with words. However, the demon-spirit demon flame in front of him was undoubtedly more mysterious and charming. The color of this mystic flame was constantly changing. Red, green, blue, white, colorless, and so on. It was constantly changing, and it was constantly gentle. It was really like a shape-shifting witch, and it was releasing a demonic charm. Time was getting closer and closer. Whoosh! Suddenly, a gust of wind blew past. Then, the demon-spirit demon flame left the candlestick, jumped onto the table lightly, and turned into a human figure. It still looked like the ice spirit, and it was extremely beautiful. However, compared to the ice spirit, it was even more mysterious and charming. Although it was formed by flames, and it was only 3 inches tall. No matter if it was her clothes, hair, or eyes, they were all clear and lifelike. Her skin was snow white. Her hair was purple. Her clothes and skirt were still purple. Even her pupils were purple. Yang Dingtian released a gust of mysterious qi, and he tried to get closer. He clearly remembered the scene when he swallowed the million-spirit demon flame. He clearly knew that the heaven and earth-level mysterious fire was not something that could be swallowed just because one wanted to. It would choose its own master. Of course, there was only Yang Dingtian in front of the demon-spirit demon flame. If it had to choose a master, it could only choose Yang Dingtian. Yang Dingtian's mysterious qi was getting closer and closer. As if it felt this mysterious qi, the demon-spirit demon flame also flew over lightly, and it tried to get closer to Yang Dingtian's mysterious qi. The two were getting closer and closer. As long as they touched and merged, everything would be decided. However, just as Yang Dingtian's mysterious qi was about to get close to it, the demon-spirit demon flame suddenly flew away. Then, it began to fly around Yang Dingtian. It was sensing Yang Dingtian's aura, and it was sensing Yang Dingtian's energy. Yang Dingtian knew that the demon-spirit demon flame was choosing its master. He held his breath and sat quietly, waiting for the demon-spirit demon flame's decision. In terms of talent, Yang Dingtian was not afraid of anyone in the world. His 9 yang profound veins was enough for any mysterious fire to enter. However, there was also a problem, and that was that he already had a million-spirit demon flame in his body. Therefore, the heavenly phoenix flame chose to reject Yang Dingtian. Even though it was not a heaven and earth level mysterious fire, because it had the aura of the demon phoenix, the heavenly phoenix flame had its own consciousness and learned to choose its own master. However, there was only one person in the stone room. If the demon spirit demon flame did not choose its master, it could only quietly disappear and wait for 200 years to burn again. Every mysterious fire had the instinct to find its master, and they all had the desire to find a chi-si to settle in. Yang Dingtian bet that if there was no other choice, the demon spirit demon flame could only choose him. 1 minute later, the demon spirit demon flame stopped circling Yang Dingtian and quietly floated in front of Yang Dingtian's eyes.
Its eyes actually met with Yang Dingtian's. Even though its body was very small, its eyes were even smaller. However, Yang Dingtian could still clearly see its pupils. Its pupils were actually constantly changing colors. The situation was not good. This was because Yang Dingtian actually saw rejection in its eyes. That's right, rejection. Then, gradually, this rejection turned into hostility. Yang Dingtian was shocked, but he did not know why it was like this. Could it be because of what he did to the ice spirit that offended the demon spirit demon flame? However, the ice spirits could not affect the demon spirit demon flame at all. In the next second, the demon spirit demon flame directly flew away and was about to leave. Yang Dingtian was shocked. Could it be that he had to give up on the 4th heaven and earth level mysterious fire in the world just like that? Suddenly, his celestial chi suddenly caught up and was about to forcefully enter the demon spirit demon flame's body. In an instant, the demon spirit demon flame suddenly turned around and released a dangerous and angry light at Yang Dingtian. Then, the flames on its body began to rise and become restless. She was warning Yang Dingtian that if he angered it, it would go completely berserk. If the demon spirit demon flame went berserk, what would the outcome be? It would be equivalent to the explosion of a nuclear bomb. Not only would Yang Dingtian turn into ashes, but the entire Despair City secret realm would also be smashed into pieces. Qin Huayu, Song Chunhua, and everyone else would also be smashed into pieces. He could not forcefully devour it. It was too dangerous. Could it be that he had to give up just like that? He was really unwilling. Yes, use the darkness mystic fire. Suddenly, an idea came to his mind. Then, Yang Dingtian awakened the darkness mystic fire and directly injected it into his celestial chi. Suddenly, a black mystic fire directly ignited in the air. In an instant, the demon spirit demon flame's eyes suddenly lit up, as if it had seen the most attractive thing. The darkness mystic fire, as the species with the highest energy level in the world, was a fatal temptation to any energy creature. Even though they knew that the darkness mystic fire was dangerous, they still couldn't resist its temptation. Just like how many men knew that a stunning beauty was dangerous, but they still couldn't resist and fell into it. Just like how many people knew that depravity was a dangerous trap, but they still couldn't resist falling into depravity. Using this opportunity, Yang Dingtian injected his celestial chi. The demon spirit demon flame only resisted for a moment before it completely accepted it. Boom! In an instant, the demon spirit demon flame suddenly jumped up and turned into a beautiful burning flame. Then, it suddenly exploded and turned into thousands of strands of energy that instantly filled the entire stone room.
The darkness mystic fire quickly entered Yang Dingtian's energy sea and burned quietly. It didn't enter a deep sleep. Yang Dingtian sat cross-legged on the ground, closed his eyes, and released every entrance of his mystic meridians. Suddenly, the demon spirit demon flame transformed into thousands of strands and quickly entered Yang Dingtian's body. In almost an instant, Yang Dingtian's entire body and mind sunk into nothingness. He lost all of his consciousness in an instant. He could only instinctively swallow and refine it. Almost endless mystic fire energy crazily poured into Yang Dingtian's energy sea. After passing through the mystic meridians, it poured into the energy sea. Of course, these thousands of strands of mystic fire energy were also quickly dissipating. As mentioned before, the amount of mystic fire energy that a martial artist could swallow was minuscule. It wasn't even 1% or 1,000th. Most of the mystic fire energy had completely dissipated. How much could be swallowed depended on the martial artist's mystic meridian's talent and energy sea talent. The higher the talent, the more it could be swallowed. Furthermore, the most important thing about swallowing mystic fire wasn't how much energy was swallowed, but swallowing the mystic fire's soul and life, allowing it to enter the energy sea and become one's heart flame. This was the most important thing that determined a martial artist's future achievements. However, the current Yang Dingtian was different. At this moment, his energy sea had completely become a bottomless pit. Like a black hole, it was swallowing the mystic fire energy crazily. Of course, Yang Dingtian didn't know that the amount of mystic fire energy that he was swallowing in a unit of time was several times more than others. Because, not only was his energy sea swallowing, the most important thing was that the darkness mystic fire was also swallowing crazily. The only limitation now was that Yang Dingtian's mystic meridians were too limited. The crazy swallowing had already pushed Yang Dingtian's mystic meridians to the limit. Countless strands of energy crazily poured in, almost causing Yang Dingtian's mystic meridians to be torn apart. Fortunately, Yang Dingtian had the 9 Yang mystic meridians and had been transformed by Naga's mystic meridians. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to withstand it and his mystic meridians would have exploded long ago. Swallow. 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 Yang Dingtian's energy sea and the darkness mystic fire were swallowing crazily. The stone room was originally filled with colorful lights and the energy of the demon spirit mystic fire was everywhere. As Yang Dingtian swallowed crazily, the energy of the mystic fire in the stone room became fainter and fainter. Time passed by minute. 2 hours. 4 hours. 6 hours. 8 hours. 10 hours. Boom. 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 Yang Dingtian, who had lost his consciousness, was trembling and his energy sea was trembling. He didn't know how many times he had broken through and how many times he had trembled. The darkness mystic fire in his energy sea was getting brighter, darker, and stronger. Finally, everything was settled. There was no longer any energy of the demon spirit mystic fire in the stone room. A portion of the demon spirit mystic fire's energy had dissipated, a portion was swallowed by Yang Dingtian's energy sea, and a portion was swallowed by the darkness mystic fire. Rumble. The door of the stone room opened. Song Chunhua, Qin Huayu, and the rest, who were already extremely anxious outside, suddenly rushed in. Yang Dingtian slowly opened his eyes, and his mind recovered his consciousness. He immediately felt his energy sea, wanting to know how much his cultivation had broken through after he swallowed the demon spirit mystic fire. After his consciousness entered his energy sea, Yang Dingtian was completely stunned. It was actually such a crazy breakthrough, such a huge breakthrough. Chapter 425. Before devouring the demon spirit demon fire, Yang Dingtian was a 5-star martial venerable. After devouring the earth-level mystic flame, Qin Huayu broke through from a 7-star martial venerable to a 9-star martial venerable. After devouring the phoenix heavenly fire, Song Chunhua broke through from a 9-star martial venerable to a 2-star martial venerable. The devil spirit demon flame was a heaven and earth mystic flame. Furthermore, the darkness mystic flame in Yang Dingtian's body was also frantically devouring the devil spirit demon flame's energy. How much did Yang Dingtian's cultivation increase after devouring the devil spirit demon flame? From a 5-star martial venerable to a 6-star martial venerable, 7-star, 8-star, 9-star, it didn't stop. Yang Dingtian, you broke through to the martial venerable? Song Chunhua rushed in and said directly, when we were outside, we heard a burst of thunder and the ground trembled. The situation was exactly the same as when Qin Huayu broke through to the martial venerable. Qin Huayu really broke through to the martial venerable, Yang Dingtian said excitedly. He didn't answer Song Chunhua's question directly. Because he seemed to have broken through to the martial venerable, and it was more than that. However, the situation was a bit complicated, and Yang Dingtian couldn't explain it clearly. Your Naga mystic veins are really domineering. You directly broke through to the martial venerable, 1-star 5th martial venerable, Qin Huayu said. When you were outside, did you hear the signs of me breaking through to the martial venerable? Yang Dingtian asked. Suddenly, Qin Huayu and the others all nodded. Then, Qin Huayu asked anxiously, what happened? What happened to Bingling? Yang Dingtian said, I devoured the real demon spirit demon fire. This Bingling is the fire spirit of the demon spirit demon fire. Our mission in the 5th level is to kill her and get the demon spirit demon fire. She's the fire spirit of the mystic flame, the ultimate target for us to kill. Qin Huayu said in shock, although I'm mentally prepared, I'm still very shocked. But how is it possible for us to kill her? She's so strong that it's suffocating. Yang Dingtian said, in the 5th level of the trial, if we don't make any mistakes, we will definitely win. Because the ice spirit will never be able to kill us, and she is constantly weakening. In the end, she is no different from an ordinary woman. Therefore, as long as we don't despair, don't make mistakes, and persevere in the battle, we will be able to win. Under normal circumstances, he would definitely be able to eliminate her. It's a pity that we missed out on sparring with a saint. However, as a fire spirit that had lived for thousands of years, she already had her own selfish motives. She was unwilling to fail like this, and she couldn't kill us either. Therefore, he set up a trap and opened a space-time rift for us to go to Devil Prison Cavern. Then, He planned to use the magic fire fiend phoenix to kill us. Unfortunately, we found the egg of the demon phoenix, so her plan failed at the last step. Although Qin Huayu had already told the little princess and the others about this matter, they still couldn't help but be shocked when they heard Yang Dingtian's words. How could this be? Sister Bing Ling is like a fairy. To think that I was planning to make her my lifelong idol, the little princess said in Vulture. Song Chunhua said, then did you defeat her when she was at her weakest? No. Yang Dingtian said, in fact, I was almost finished just now. I still underestimated her. I originally thought that she would be at her weakest when there was still 2 hours before the demon spirit fiend fire bloomed. It would be enough for me to eliminate her. Who knew that even if she had less than 1% of her energy, she could still easily crush me. She gently squeezed her palm and instantly sealed me in ice. Then, I couldn't move at all. Even if she was so weak that she couldn't even truss a chicken and I could easily kill her, I couldn't even move a finger. Everyone was shocked. This saint was actually so powerful. She couldn't kill me with her own hands, so she wanted me to watch the demon spirit fiend fire bloom and then extinguish. Then, I wanted to watch her recover her incomparably powerful energy. Yang Dingtian said, originally, I had no chance of turning the situation around. However, she sealed my Xian veins and Qi Si in ice, but not my mind. Therefore, I activated the consciousness in the soul sword again and controlled it to shatter the ice seal. Then, I subdued her. You killed her? The little princess Vulture asked. No, but I destroyed her. I turned her into a walking corpse. Her physical body is extremely powerful. Once she can be refined into a war puppet demon, she can sweep through the world. Yang Dingtian said. That's impossible. The little princess Vulture said, after she became weak, there was no profound energy in her Qi Si. If you can't fill her Qi Si with profound energy, she can't become a powerful war puppet demon. I know, but if I can find a powerful profound energy source, then our strength will instantly reach the peak. Yang Dingtian said. Qin Huayu sighed emotionally. Yang Dingtian, you swallowed the demon spirit fiend fire. This is really the best ending for us. You gave up the phoenix heavenly fire and my profound fire. Even if we can't refuse, this will always be a thorn in our hearts. That's right, your nobility and sacrifice will always be a thorn in our hearts. Now, this ending couldn't be more perfect. This time, the results of the Secret Realm training in the City of Despair have far exceeded our best expectations. There are actually 3 masters, 1 martial revered and 1 martial great master. I am now confident that I can convince my father. Then, Qin Huayu asked again, Yang Dingtian, to what extent have you broken through? Yang Dingtian said, there's something very strange. When I swallowed the demon spirit fiend fire, I lost my consciousness. But after I woke up, I could faintly feel that I had broken through to the master realm, or even more. Because I could faintly feel that after the thunderclap above my head, my Qi Si continued to expand and break through. I'm not sure to what extent I've broken through. Maybe I'm a 2-star master. What? Qin Huayu exclaimed, the demon spirit fiend fire is ranked 4th in the world. Is it so heaven-defying? It directly allowed you to break through from a 5-star martial revered to a 2-star master. I don't know why, but I know that because of the darkness profound fire, my ability to swallow the demon spirit fiend fire is extremely shocking. Yang Dingtian said. Then what's your current cultivation level? Song Chunhua asked. I don't know. My Qi Si should be at least a 2-star master. Yang Dingtian said, but the strangest thing is that I can't use this cultivation level. When I fight and release my Xian Qi, it's stuck at a 9-star 9th grade martial revered. I'm very, very close to the master realm. Maybe it's just a thin layer of paper, but I can't pierce through it. Everyone was shocked. There was actually such a thing. His Qi Si was at the level of a 2-star master, but when he fought, it was only at the level of a 9-star 9th grade martial revered. This is really strange. Qin Huayu said in shock. I know the reason. It's because I didn't learn the fourth stage of the pig-slaying swordsmanship. Yang Dingtian said, originally, I couldn't even break through to the martial revered level. But because my Xian Meridian's talent is too high, coupled with the baptism of Naga's Xian Meridians, even if I didn't learn the fourth stage of the pig-slaying swordsmanship, my cultivation level broke through to the high-level martial revered level. But no matter how heaven-defying my Xian Meridians are, I definitely can't break through to the Master Realm. It's like a layer of paper sealed there. That's why this strange thing happened. My Qi-Si cultivation has reached the level of a 2-star master, but my Xian Meridians are only at the level of a 9-star martial revered level. Song Chunhua looked at Yang Dingtian, then, it's very important and urgent to get the fourth stage of the pig-slaying swordsmanship. Otherwise, your cultivation level won't be able to improve at all. Yang Dingtian nodded. Previously, because he didn't have the fourth stage of the pig-slaying swordsmanship, Yang Dingtian's cultivation level progressed at a snail's pace. But because he came to the high-level secret realm and swallowed the heaven and earth Xian flame, Yang Dingtian still broke through to the 9-star 9th grade martial revered level. But it was impossible to go any higher. No matter how heaven-defying Yang Dingtian's Xian Meridian's talent was, it was impossible. Unless he cultivated the fourth stage of the pig-slaying swordsmanship. By the way, Yang Dingtian, every heaven and earth Xian flame has a special ability. What kind of heaven-defying ability does your demon spirit demon fire have? Little Princess Vulture said, it must be very, very amazing. The demon spirit demon fire is ranked higher than your million spirit demon fire. Instantly, everyone looked at him curiously. Yang Dingtian said, take a guess. You can definitely guess it. Suddenly, everyone began to think. I have a rough idea. Song Chunhua said. Me too. Qin Huayu said, this is really a heaven-defying ability. What ability? Tell me quickly, don't speak in riddles. Little Princess Vulture said unhappily. It's not that she wasn't smart, but she couldn't calm down to guess. Idiot, what's the move that Bing Ling uses the most? Song Chunhua said. Ah! Little Princess Vulture exclaimed, jumped up and exclaimed, Ice Seal, it can't be, this is too heaven-defying. Yang Dingtian, give it a try, give it a try. Yang Dingtian nodded and opened his palm. Suddenly, a blue flame emerged from his palm. Seal! Yang Dingtian clenched his fist towards the little Princess Spirit Vulture. Whoosh! In an instant, little Princess Vulture was frozen and couldn't move at all. Yang Dingtian, the little girl's cultivation is too low. Your cultivation is similar to mine, try it on me. Qin Huayu said. Yang Dingtian nodded and summoned the demon spirit demon fire to freeze Qin Huayu. Whoosh! There was no surprise. A dark blue barrier suddenly appeared and froze Qin Huayu inside. Immediately, Qin Huayu was unable to move at all. Song Chunhua and Zhao Mu were completely stunned. This ability was too heaven-defying. One had to know that Yang Dingtian was only a 9-star martial venerable, but he could freeze a master-level powerhouse. This was too heaven-defying. The ability of this demon spirit demon fire was indescribable. It was even more heaven-defying than Yang Dingtian's million spirit demon fire and Zhu Hongshue's thunderous flame. Bang! Bang! The icy blue barrier suddenly shattered. Qin Huayu and little Princess Vulture regained their mobility. Qin Huayu said with a face full of shock, this is too shocking. I really can't move at all. Not to mention my body, I can't even control my mystic qi and mystic fire. Little Princess Vulture said, Yang Dingtian, I haven't played enough yet, why did you stop? Yang Dingtian said, it's not that I want to stop, it exploded on its own. Ah, why? Little Princess Vulture said, it's only frozen for such a short time, what's the use? Yang Dingtian said, there's no other way. Although this demon spirit demon fire is of the chaotic attribute, its ability is inclined towards mystic meridians. So, look at the icicles, all the attacks are of the ice attribute. I'm a fire attribute martial artist, so the ice of this demon spirit demon fire won't last long because I don't have any ice attribute energy in my body. Ah! Little Princess Vulture said, that's a pity. It's a waste to give this mystic fire to you. Isn't it? Yang Dingtian said, and among the 5 of us, none of us have ice attribute mystic meridians. Even if there is, it's useless. Song Chunhua said, high-level mystic fires will choose their own masters. As the 4th heaven and earth mystic fire in the world, the demon spirit demon fire has even more stringent requirements for its master. So, other than Dongfang Bingling's talent, other ice attribute talents can't get the demon spirit demon fire even if they see it. When you say it like that, I feel much better. Little Princess Vulture said, oh right, Yang Dingtian, you have Yang attribute mystic meridians, and you already have 1,000,000 spirit demon fire in your body. Why did the demon spirit demon fire still choose you? It didn't choose me. In fact, it rejected me, viewed me as an enemy, and even almost attacked me violently. Yang Dingtian said, it's because this darkness mystic fire of mine had a fatal temptation to it that I successfully swallowed it into my body. Humph, you're so lucky. Little Princess Vulture was filled with envy, jealousy, and hatred, and said, one person has 3 mystic fires, and all of them are of the highest quality. Yang Dingtian said, actually, the demon spirit demon fire also has a special ability. You guys should still remember that it's the ice shield that ice spirit used. Once this shield is opened, you can avoid any fire attribute damage inside. It's a pity that I don't have ice attribute energy in my body, so I can't use this special ability. Then, Yang Dingtian sighed in his heart again. It's a pity that this demon spirit demon fire was given to him. It's really a waste. Originally, Dongfang Bingling was the most suitable owner for it. What a pity, oh right, City Lord Yang. Song Chunhua suddenly said, when you were in the Demon City's merchant palace, do you remember the name of the 4th stage of the pig-slaying sword art? Yang Dingtian began to recall, and said, I think someone mentioned it before. It's called the Yin-Yang Universe Scripture. Then, Yang Dingtian's heart suddenly jumped, and his heart was filled with endless hope and fantasy. Qin Huayu's eyes also lit up, and said, hearing this name, why does it seem like the reversal of yin and yang, yin and yang? Ah! Little Princess Vulture exclaimed, then after Yang Dingtian practices it, he won't turn into a woman, right? At that moment, everyone rolled their eyes at the little girl. This little girl's brain was really out of line. There were many men with Yin Xian meridians, and Leng Ao was one of them. Although he was incomparably cold, he was definitely a man. Song Chunhua said, if it's really like what we think it is. After City Lord Yang practices the pig-slaying sword art, not only will his cultivation soar, but he will also be able to control both yin and yang. He will also be able to use the demon spirit demon fire. At that moment, everyone was fascinated and fantasized about how powerful Yang Dingtian would be if that was really the case. Perhaps he would directly soar to 3-star, or even 4-star master. We must get the 4th stage of the pig-slaying sword art. No matter what price we have to pay, we must get it from City Lord Kuei Si, Song Chunhua said resolutely. That's right, it seemed like the 4th stage of the pig-slaying sword art would have a decisive effect on Yang Dingtian. Alright, let's leave this secret realm first. There's only half a month left before Qin Shichi's army attacks Cloud Sky City. It's very urgent, and we still have a lot of things to do. Yang Dingtian said, do you guys see any exits? If I'm not wrong, the exit should be at the end of the 5th floor's secret training room. We didn't notice it. Just now, everyone was concerned about what happened to you, Song Chunhua said. Let's go out and take a look. Yang Dingtian then led everyone out. What an obvious exit. That's right, the Despair City's secret training room had completely ended. The 5th floor's secret training room was a stone cave. It turned out that there was a long tunnel, which was the tunnel that Ice Spirit opened to enter Devil Prison Cave. It was originally pitch black, but now there was light. The tunnel was very long, and it kept going upwards. A ray of sunlight directly shone down. Originally, this tunnel was sealed and blocked by dark energy. It was impossible to leave, but now it was completely open. God, we can finally leave, Qin Huayu said. Qin Huayu said, even though this Despair City secret realm has given us a lot, I still want to get out of here all the time. If I stay here any longer, I will really go crazy. Everyone would go crazy. They had already stayed in this huge secret prison for almost 2 months. Just as everyone was cheering and about to leave, the little princess suddenly said in Vulture, "Where's Qin Ji? We were all talking inside just now. The exit here is wide open. If Qin Ji wanted to escape, we wouldn't have been able to find her." Everyone was shocked and hurriedly ran towards the main hall on the first floor. If Qin Ji escaped, the consequences would be unimaginable. If she ran back to Qin Chi immediately and revealed all the secrets here, Qin Chi would make a move in advance. The consequences would be fatal. Moreover, if Qin Chi escaped, it would mean that everything she did in the secret realm was just an act. She would still be a fatal and dangerous person. Soon, everyone arrived at the main hall on the first floor. Qin Ji was already gone. Previously, she was leaning against the pillar and putting on makeup in the mirror. Everyone's heart turned cold. Qin Huayu's face turned cold as he said, "Chase after her. She can't run far. Once you catch her, don't talk nonsense. Kill her immediately." At this moment, a mocking laughter came from a dark corner of the main hall. It was Qin Ji's voice. It was still so enchanting and seductive. There was also the sound of water flowing. "Yang Dingtian, I've told you many times. Can you not suddenly appear when I'm bathing? If my body is seen by you men, who will be responsible for it?" Qin Ji said harshly and charmingly. Instantly, everyone fell silent. Then, they stood there motionless and listened to the sound of water bathing in the dark corner. Qin Ji was bathing very carefully. Everyone stood there, too embarrassed to move. Because if they moved, they would feel like they were peeping at her bathing. After 2 hours, Qin Ji finished bathing. However, Yang Dingtian and the others waited for another 4 hours. Because she had to change into the most beautiful clothes and put on the most beautiful makeup. After 4 hours, Qin Ji leisurely came over. Suddenly, everyone felt as if their chests had been hammered. They were hit by her stunning beauty and almost couldn't breathe. She was really beautiful to the extreme. She was so beautiful that she stole people's souls. She was so beautiful that she radiated light. This was Qin Ji's most beautiful moment. She was so beautiful that it made people feel extremely pressured. She was like a flame, like a flower burning in a fire. Qin Ji was very charming. She walked in front of Yang Dingtian and raised her enchanting eyes. She said, "Yang Dingtian, tell me the truth. Compared to Dongfang Bingling, who is more beautiful?" Yang Dingtian was stunned. He said, "The beauty of ice is unrivaled. However, when you get close, this kind of oppressive and burning beauty is enough to destroy a man's memory of any beautiful woman. He feels that you are the most beautiful woman in the world." "Well said." Qin Ji clapped. "Dongfang Bingling is very beautiful, but she doesn't cherish her beauty. As for me, beauty is my life. I am the life of beauty. I am burning my life and releasing beauty. We are different," Qin Ji said very seriously. Then, she looked at Yang Dingtian. "Say, if I use my face and beauty to brainwash all the men in the world for 2 or 3 years, will I be called the most beautiful woman in the world? Many people will think so." Yang Dingtian said. "Wow, that's really great. It's my dream." Qin Ji's beautiful eyes were filled with dreamy light. Then, she directly pulled out Yang Dingtian's soul sword. She grabbed Yang Dingtian's hand and put the sword in his hand. She said, "Come, kill me. You have to be fast and directly cut off my head. That kind of bloody appearance will definitely be very beautiful." Chapter 426. At this moment, Yang Dingtian was definitely someone who could make a move. For example, he made a move on Yang Zheng. In fact, Yang Zheng was no longer a threat to him. Moreover, he was not a bad person. He deserved sympathy from the start, especially when he married a pervert as his wife. Even though his wife was a pervert, she despised him from the start. She treated him as a mating tool. After they had sex, she immediately distanced herself from him. She was afraid that if she got close to him, it would affect Yang Dingtian's impression of her, which would affect her wealth. Of course, if Yang Zheng was a man, then Bing Ling would be a woman, and an extremely beautiful woman. Yang Dingtian didn't have any pity for her and immediately destroyed her. Now, it was Qin Ji's turn. This woman had a deep grudge against him. Yang Dingtian had made her miserable. She had also harmed Yang Dingtian and Yang Dingtian's family many times. Even when she was at her weakest, Yang Dingtian did not take advantage of her. In the secret realm of Despair City, it was always her who bullied Yang Dingtian. However, she had changed now. She had become a paranoid and perverted woman. In her own words, she was only left with beauty. She wanted to burn her beauty with her life. Therefore, her current dream was to become a beauty who harmed men. She wanted to be a femme fatale who could make all men fall for her. To put it more crudely, her dream was to be a pervert. Of course, in her own words, she wanted to seduce men, but she would not sell her body. She wanted to make all men fall for her. She wanted to be a peerless beauty who could make all men go crazy. Faced with a woman who put on makeup and looked at herself in the mirror 24 hours a day, should Yang Dingtian kill her? Should he not kill her? What if everything before was just her acting? If he let her leave alive, it would undoubtedly cause great harm to Yang Dingtian. Previously, he did not kill her. Therefore, this person became Qin Ji to harm him. After handing the sword to Yang Dingtian, Qin Ji hummed a little tune and looked around. She didn't care about her own life or death at all. Yang Dingtian placed his sword across her neck and slit it. Bright red blood flowed out from her snow-white and delicate neck. Hey, it hurts. Qin Ji jumped and hurriedly looked at her neck in the mirror. Then, she carefully wiped it with a silk handkerchief and angrily rebuked Yang Dingtian. Yang Dingtian, what's wrong with you? If you want to kill him, then use force and directly chop off his head, okay? If you cut me like that, it will hurt a lot and leave a scar. Then, she took out the mysterious ice jade ointment and smeared it on the wound. She frowned and scolded, men are so cheap. They can't go up or down. Yang Dingtian directly handed the treasured sword to Zhao Mu and said, I'll leave this to you. Then, Yang Dingtian turned around and left. Then, Qin Huayu and Song Chunhua also turned around and left. Behind them, Qin Ji suddenly jumped up and screamed, Yang Dingtian, are you still a man? You personally promised to kill me. Now you're going back on your word? Let me tell you, if you don't kill me, I promise you'll regret it for the rest of your life. I'll take revenge on you in the future. You better be careful. Yang Dingtian didn't bother about her and continued walking. I'll do everything I can to change my face. Then, I'll run to your side and you won't be able to recognize me. Then, I'll seduce you. After you're completely with me, I'll tell you the truth. I promise you'll be scared to death. You'll be afraid of women for the rest of your life. Oh. Qin Ji laughed behind him. Yang Dingtian, to tell you the truth, when you were unconscious in the secret realm, I've already played with you. Don't you feel that something is wrong? Go back and have nightmares, bastard. Yang Dingtian ignored the crazy Qin Ji and directly led them to the 5th floor of the trial room. They went to the secret passage that led to the outside and waited for Zhao Mu. After a while, Zhao Mu came down and returned the sword to Yang Dingtian. The sword was stained with bright red blood. The blood was about half a foot long, and it pierced through Qin Ji's chest. I pierced her chest, Zhao Mu said. I've avenged my uncle. Yang Dingtian nodded and took the sword. He swung it lightly to get rid of the blood. Then, I placed her under the holy light pillar. Zhao Mu said, because she saved us before. Without her, we wouldn't have been able to leave. We wouldn't have been able to complete the trial. We might even have died. Qin Huayu's body trembled slightly, but he didn't say anything. Just as Yang Dingtian said, Zhao Mu had the absolute right to speak on how to deal with Qin Ji. However, I don't know if she can survive, Zhao Mu said. Because she kept bleeding. Even under the holy light pillar, she didn't circulate her qi to heal her wounds. That's none of our business. Yang Dingtian said, let's go. Time is of the essence. We should leave and hurry. Then, Yang Dingtian led everyone out of the passage. The secret passage that led to the outside was very, 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 very long. It was as if there was no end in sight. Moreover, every time Yang Dingtian and the others took a step out, a body of energy would grow behind them and seal the passage. In other words, this passage could only be left but not entered. In other words, even if Qin Ji survived, she wouldn't be able to come out. She wouldn't be able to come out until the mirage disappeared in a few dozen days. Perhaps, this was the best ending for him. After a full 100 miles, Yang Dingtian finally walked through the long passage and saw the outside world. As soon as they walked out of the passage, the natural light shone on them. Everyone instinctively closed their eyes. After staying in the underground mystic realm for nearly 2 months, everyone felt dazzled when they came to the world above ground again. Even though the mystic realm was shrouded in blood-red fog and sunlight couldn't shine through. However, everyone still felt the aura of freedom. Even in the hellish environment of the demon territory, it was much better than the magnificent prison of the City of Despair. However, they still had to thank the City of Despair mystic realm. It made Yang Dingtian and the others much stronger and gained a lot. Yang Dingtian turned around and saw that the long passage was wriggling and then disappearing inch by inch. Soon, everything returned to normal. There were ferocious stones everywhere. The exit of the City of Despair had disappeared without a trace. Suddenly, the voice of the stone giant in the City of Despair mystic realm rang in Yang Dingtian's mind. Guest of the mystic realm, please set the password for the mystic realm before you leave. Suddenly, Yang Dingtian was stunned. There was such an obligation and function. Guest of the mystic realm, please set the password for the mystic realm before you leave, the stone giant repeated. No Zuan Dai, the mystic realm is open. Yang Dingtian's heart suddenly had a mischievous thought as he set up this bizarre secret realm's password. Please write down this password in your mind, the stone giant said. Immediately, Yang Dingtian wrote down this strange secret code that coexisted in both English and Chinese in his heart. The password for the next opening of the City of Despair is set. Goodbye, the stone giant said and disappeared in front of Yang Dingtian. In Yang Dingtian's mind, he could clearly see a piece of jade that was slowly engraved with this secret message. No Zuan Dai, the mystic realm is open. It was the handwriting left behind by Yang Dingtian. Now, Yang Dingtian knew where the password for the mystic realm in traditional Chinese came from when he entered the hall. It didn't mean that the City of Despair mystic realm had anything to do with the China on Earth. It was because the previous guest who entered the City of Despair mystic realm was also a transmigrator and a person from China on Earth. However, Yang Dingtian was even more shocked. Who could this person be? How many years ago did he come to the City of Despair mystic realm? How many years ago did someone enter the City of Despair mystic realm? There was no answer. The stone giant didn't say anything, nor did the ice spirit. Of course, Yang Dingtian didn't ask either. If Yang Dingtian knew that the previous guest who entered the City of Despair mystic realm was also a transmigrator, he would definitely ask. However, that should be a long, long time ago. This was because Qin Ji had said that the people from the evil ways had discovered this mysterious hall a long time ago. They had also discovered the password for the mystic realm, but they didn't manage to enter it. This meant that Yang Dingtian was the only transmigrator in the chaotic world. However, this meant that the City of Despair mystic realm would be sealed for a long, long time. It might even be sealed for eternity. This was because it had been monopolized by the transmigrators. Of course, unless Yang Dingtian felt that it was necessary to leave behind the method to open the mystic realm. In other words, Yang Dingtian actually owned and monopolized the mystic realm. However, even if he wanted to send someone to the mystic realm for the trial, it would be many years later. This was because many years later, during the mirage, the mystic realm would be opened again. Let's go. Everyone take the antidote pill and circulate all your celestial chi. Use your fastest speed to leave the demon area, Yang Dingtian said. Yes. Everyone shouted. This place was more than 3,000 miles away from the end of the demon area and the source of the river of ecstasy. Previously, Yang Dingtian and the rest had spent a few days because they had to be careful. They were afraid that they wouldn't be able to reach the place where the celestial fire bloomed. Moreover, they were afraid of encountering a battle. However, they now knew that everything that had happened before was Qin Ji's scheme. There wouldn't be a single person in the demon area. Everyone rushed at full speed. They could cover a few hundred miles in 2 hours. In less than 16 hours, Yang Dingtian and the rest had covered more than 3,000 miles and reached the end of the river of ecstasy. Senior brother Qin, Zhaomu can't fly yet. Carry him, Yang Dingtian said. Yes. Qin Huayu carried Zhaomu. Now, Qin Huayu, Yang Dingtian, and Song Chunhua were all grandmasters. Flying was a piece of cake for the three of them. Although the little girl Vulture was only a martial revered, when she was a heaven-defying celestial spirit master and a martial ancestor, she dared to kill a 9-star martial revered martial ancestor, Zhu Hongxue. Moreover, she flew faster than him. Swoosh swoosh swoosh, immediately, the four of them flew into the sky at full speed. They followed the river of ecstasy and flew towards the southwest. After flying for less than 300 miles, there were nearly 10 flying mounts in front of them. They were pacing back and forth in the sky, even though there wasn't a single rider on them. These flying mounts were sent by the World Society and the Northwest Qin City's forces in the Land of Chaos. Even though no one came from this place, they still followed Song Chunhua and Qin Huayu's orders and sent out flying mounts to wait on the river of ecstasy. Yang Dingtian and the rest rode on these high-grade flying mounts and flew at full speed. These flying mounts were the best in the chaotic land. Therefore, they could fly at a speed of nearly 1,000 miles. Therefore, in just a few hours, Yang Dingtian and the rest had flown a few thousand miles away from the river of ecstasy and arrived at the territory of the Temple of Blood. Brother? Do you want to take a look at the Temple of Blood? Qin Huayu asked. No need. Yang Dingtian then turned his head to take a look. The Mountain of Blood was 300 miles to the northwest. They could still vaguely see it from a few hundred miles away. Thick black smoke mixed with the blood-red aura of death soared into the sky. The Temple of Blood must have undergone a great change. Even though De Gushao had extraordinary intelligence, he was still unable to prevent the Temple of Annihilation from dragging the Temple of Blood into the abyss of war and death. Just as he had said, he, De Gushao, would never betray the Temple of Annihilation. Let's go. Yang Dingtian then continued flying. After flying over 1,000 miles of the Temple of Blood's territory, Yang Dingtian noticed something different. Previously, although the Temple of Blood's territory was known as the territory of the evil ways, it was a peaceful place where people lived in peace and contentment. The people on the ground were living better than the people in Cloud Heaven City. But now, the sky above the territory was filled with black smoke and the aura of flames. There were burning houses, traces of armed forces, and corpses of commoners. The peaceful Temple of Blood's territory was also dragged into the impending war. At the very least, they were already preparing for war. Some people had already noticed Yang Dingtian above them. But the strange thing was that there weren't any flying warriors intercepting and killing them. Instead, they allowed Yang Dingtian and the rest to pass by. After flying over the Temple of Blood's territory, there was a long stretch of no man's land. These were the wounds left behind by the Great Apocalyptic War 200 years ago and had yet to recover. After the ruins, there was 1,000 miles of swamp. After the swamp, it was the land of chaos. The land of chaos was previously filled with danger to Yang Dingtian, but the current land of chaos made Yang Dingtian feel like the entire world had given up on this place. The evil ways had given up, and so had the Tiando League. Therefore, this place had become the most chaotic, the poorest, and the most destitute place. This place had become the buffer zone between the Tiando League and the evil ways. At this moment, Yang Dingtian and the rest were flying over the land of chaos. To these lowly wandering warriors on the ground, they were undoubtedly like demons or emperors that had descended from the heavens. They had absolute control over the lives of the people on the ground. Just like Dugu Fengwu, who flew into the sky out of anger and slaughtered all the wandering warriors in the town. They didn't stop for long in the land of chaos. After changing their mounts, Yang Dingtian and the rest continued to fly towards the west, returning to Cloud Heaven City first. 6 hours later, Yang Dingtian and the rest had already arrived at the sky above Cloud Heaven City. They didn't sleep or rest for an entire day and night. After flying for close to 20,000 miles, they finally rushed back to Cloud Heaven City from the demon region. In the sky, Yang Dingtian immediately felt the aura of Cloud Heaven City as if they were facing a great enemy. There was even a gloomy and fearful aura. On the road, there were cavalry patrolling everywhere. On the city walls, every sentry post on the mountain, and every pass on the road were fully armed troops. In the sky, there were a few rows of flying cavalry patrolling everywhere. But other than that, there were no traces of a great battle. It was obvious that Qin Shiqi's army hadn't arrived yet. The patrolling cavalry quickly discovered Yang Dingtian and the rest and immediately chased after them. After discovering that it was Yang Dingtian, the patrolling cavalry was ecstatic. He immediately knelt on the back of the cavalry and shouted, "Greetings to the city lord." Yang Dingtian waved his hand. The flying cavalry immediately got up from his back. Then, 2 rows of flying cavalry patrolling behind Yang Dingtian to protect him. Before Yang Dingtian landed in Cloud Heaven City, he was already discovered by the troops on the ground. Suddenly, the heavy atmosphere shook violently. Suddenly, all the soldiers and warriors' morale soared. Those who were patrolling, those who were stationed, those who were training, and those who were cultivating, knelt down like a tide. "Greetings to the city lord! Greetings to the city lord!" Yang Dingtian waved his hand and asked everyone to get up. He waved to the warriors as he walked into the main hall. "City lord, I heard that the Northwest Qin City wants to send an army of 100,000 to suppress and destroy us. Is that true?" A warrior asked Yang Dingtian loudly. His voice was filled with faint uneasiness. Yang Dingtian realized that at this moment, all the warriors' faces were filled with uneasiness. There was even an aura of despair and fear. Yang Dingtian's heart skipped a beat. What exactly had happened? Just how severe was the situation? Could it be that a mere army of 100,000 from the Qin city was enough to make all the warriors in Cloud Heaven City so discouraged and afraid? Yang Dingtian immediately stood still and looked at everyone. "Everyone, remember this. There is no such thing as the Northwest Qin City attacking Cloud Heaven City. A few months ago, I married Miss Qin Jiaojiao from the Northwest Qin City, so we are one family. How could the Northwest Qin City attack us? But, we heard that the Qin City has already sent people to ask Second Madam to return to the Qin City." That warrior said, "Moreover, not only the Northwest Qin City's army, but also the World Society, Autumn Water Sword Sect, Sky Phoenix Pavilion, and so on. The entire Northwest, Southwest, and North Continent, all the forces of the Tiando League are attacking us." Yang Dingtian was instantly shocked. Qin Shiqi wasn't the only army. There was even the World Society. And Sky Phoenix Pavilion. Even the entire Western world had come to attack Cloud Sky City. Why was that? There was no reason. What exactly had happened? Looking at the uneasy and fearful Cloud Heaven City disciples, Yang Dingtian laughed loudly. "Ridiculous. There is no such thing. These are all rumors. That's right, there is an army that is attacking Cloud Heaven City, but it is not the Qin City's army. It is the lackey of the evil ways, the pawns of Qin Chi and the South Sea Ning clan. Someone said that the World Society and Qin City are attacking us. Look, who are these two people beside me? Instantly, Qin Huayu tore off his cloak and revealed his face. Song Chunhua took off the armor mask on his face and revealed his handsome face. This is the young master of the Northwest Qin City, the future supreme master of the Northwest Qin City, Qin Huayu. This is the young master of the World Society, the future master of the World Society, Song Chunhua. These two people are the most loyal friends of Cloud Heaven City. They are comrades in arms who have gone through life and death with me. Yang Dingtian spoke loudly, therefore, the rumor that the Qin City is going to attack me and the World Alliance is going to attack me is absurd. That's right. Qin Huayu said loudly, I hereby announce that I, Qin Huayu, and Qin City will always stand together with City Lord Yang Dingtian. Whoever wants to attack Cloud Heaven City will have to step over my dead body first. Song Chunhua said loudly, I hereby swear that City Lord Yang Dingtian's enemy is my enemy. Wherever City Lord Yang Dingtian's sword points to, I will kill in that direction. The World Society and Cloud Heaven City will form a blood alliance and never betray each other. When the crowd heard Qin Huayu and Song Chunhua's words, they cheered loudly. Their morale was boosted and they felt honored. Long live City Lord Yang Dingtian. Long live young Master Qin Huayu. Long live young Master Song Chunhua. Instantly, the aura of fear, gloom, and despair were all swept away. Yang Dingtian and the others were also excited. They smiled and greeted all the Cloud Heaven City disciples. In front, Madame Shimen led the Cloud Heaven City crowd and knelt down. Cloud Heaven City's Elder Guild welcomes the return of the City Lord. Yang Dingtian accepted the greeting and went forward to help Madame Shimen up. Immediately after, he knelt down and said, Yang Dingtian pays his respects to his mother-in-law. At the same time, Song Chunhua, Qin Huayu, and Zhao Mu also knelt down to pay their respects. The little girl Vulture also hurriedly knelt down. Madame Shimen saw this and couldn't help but be stunned. Song Chunhua and Qin Huayu, with their noble statuses, actually knelt down as well. After the greeting, Yang Dingtian quickly entered the main hall. He wanted to know what had happened. Just how bad was the situation? Chapter 427. After entering the main hall, Yang Dingtian's passionate face immediately turned serious. Big brother, close the door, Yang Dingtian said. Immediately, the main hall's door was closed, blocking Yanyan's hopeful gaze and Qin Jiaojiao's uneasy gaze. What exactly happened? Yang Dingtian asked as he walked to the City Lord's golden throne. Reporting to the City Lord, the southwest mainland has been completely pacified. Sky Phoenix Pavilion's army was completely annihilated. Pavilion Master Duan Ruyan and all the Sky Phoenix Pavilion's main combat faction experts were either killed or captured. Leng Yanmei returned as the new Sky Phoenix Pavilion Master and started a massacre, killing all of Duan Ruyan's direct subordinates. Jiao Liao knelt down and said sorrowfully. She looked a little weak, but there were 2 unhealed scars on her face. Yang Dingtian's eyes twitched, how can that be? Pavilion Master Duan Ruyan is an advanced master, not far from becoming a martial grandmaster. Moreover, there are 2 or 3 martial grandmasters among the Sky Phoenix Pavilion's elders. When the City Lord sent me to Sky Phoenix Pavilion, it was when Qin Chichi's attack on Sky Phoenix Pavilion was at its fiercest. Thus, when I arrived, I immediately joined the battle. Jiao Liao said, the poison that the City Lord gave me was extremely shocking. It directly killed nearly 10,000 people in Qin Chichi's army. Then, Pavilion Master Duan personally led dozens of martial honorable experts and charged into Qin Chichi's South Continent city to execute the decapitation operation. She planned to kill Qin Chichi and Ning Wuming directly. And then? Yang Dingtian asked. Pavilion Master Duan did not succeed. Snake-tail Jiao said, because Qin Shiqi and Ning Wuming in the South region's Lord Qingzhou residence were only substitutes. However, the three martial grandmasters by Qin Shiqi's side were all killed. Moreover, at this time, Qin Shiqi's army was poisoned and 10,000 people died. Then, Sky Phoenix Pavilion's army of 10,000 people took the opportunity to counterattack and defeated Qin Shiqi's army, killing 20 to 30,000 people. At this point, Qin Shiqi's army of 100,000 people died. Hearing this, although everyone knew that there were unforeseen events, they still felt refreshed. At that time, all of us thought that the outcome was already decided. Pavilion Master Duan Rian even joked with me that maybe we don't need to fight the war in Cloud Sky City anymore. We can just finish it in the southwest continent. She even said that you owe her a huge favor, Snake-tail said. Yang Dingtian couldn't help but think of Duan Rian's appearance. She was really a very special woman. Unrivaled beauty was almost everything to many women, but to her, it was the most insignificant thing. Her personality, willpower, carefreeness, integrity, and straightforwardness were all incomparably dazzling existences. That was why the overlord of a generation, Qin Wanchou, could not forget her and viewed her as the only woman he had ever loved in his life. And then? Yang Dingtian asked. After witnessing Pavilion Master Duan's great victory, the powers in the southwest continent began to waver. They abandoned Qin Shiqi and turned to Pavilion Master Duan's side. The Southwest Alliance army led by the Sky Phoenix Pavilion had a total of 70 to 80,000 men, which was even more than Qin Shiqi's army. So, at that time, all of us thought that the outcome was already decided, Zhao Liao said. At that time, Qin Shiqi's army had already begun to flee in large numbers. Then, Pavilion Master Duan decided to launch an all-out attack on South Continent City on the 15th of a month ago to eliminate Qin Shiqi's army. And then? Yang Dingtian asked. The Southwest Alliance army led by Pavilion Master Duan was like a hot knife through butter. They directly invaded South Continent City and killed their way to Qin Shiqi's residence, Zhao Liao said. At that time, I was at the front line beside Pavilion Master Duan. Suddenly, Zhao Liao's beautiful face turned pale and her delicate body trembled. Even though it had been a few dozen days, she still felt a sense of fear. Then, an army of only 3,000 men surged out of Qin Shiqi's residence. They were wearing snow-white armor and black cloaks. Their entire faces were hidden in the cloaks, only revealing their eyes. Every pair of eyes had blood-red pupils. Even though they were very far away, there was still a terrifying cold aura coming from them. Zhao Liao continued, then, this army of 3,000 men annihilated the 70 to 80,000 alliance army led by Pavilion Master Duan within 4 hours. Pavilion Master Duan led all the experts and decided to ignore the battle and directly kill Qin Shiqi and Ning Wuming. At that time, 10 people appeared beside Qin Shiqi and Ning Wuming. In just 15 minutes, they killed the 100 experts led by Pavilion Master Duan Rian. Pavilion Master Duan was the only one left. He was knocked unconscious and captured. As soon as she said that, the entire place turned icy cold. What were the cultivation levels of those 10 people? Yang Dingtian asked. All of them were Grandmaster or above, Zhao Liao said. 9 of them were wearing purple robes. One of them was completely hidden in black armor. His face and eyes were hidden. It was as if he wasn't a real person. This person had been following Qin Shiqi closely. This person was at the Grandmaster level. Pavilion Master Duan Rian was defeated by him. Instantly, everyone sucked in a breath of cold air. 9 Grandmasters and 1 Grandmaster. These 9 purple-robed Grandmasters should be from the Ning clan of the South Sea. They are the most loyal subordinates of the evil demon Prince Li Ming. Yang Dingtian said, the Grandmaster-level expert that Qin Shiqi brought from Qin City should have been killed by Pavilion Master Duan Rian. That! I should know about the Grandmaster-level expert. Qin Huayu said, City Lord Yang, do you still remember that day when you went to rescue Pavilion Master Duan Rian? In our Qin City's dungeon, there was a Grandmaster-level dungeon under the Grandmaster-level dungeon. I remember. I was very shocked that day. There was actually a Grandmaster-level prisoner in Qin City, Yang Dingtian said. I don't know who that Grandmaster-level prisoner was, Qin Huayu said. You should also remember that my father once led a team to fight a demon spirit. After paying a huge price, he finally got a 1,000-year-old demon spirit. Yang Dingtian nodded and said, What does your father plan to do with this demon spirit? I didn't know before, but now I can guess. Qin Huayu said bitterly, It's to create a Grandmaster-level battle puppet demon. His goal is the same as ours, to create a battle puppet demon with the heart of a demon spirit. Father didn't tell me about this secret. This battle puppet demon has already been created, and father gave it to Qin Chichi. When he said these words, Qin Huayu's expression became even more bitter. Yang Dingtian's heart also sank. This meant that Qin Wanchou had already chosen his side. He actually gave the Grandmaster-level battle puppet demon to Qin Chichi. Qin Huayu's chances weren't high, and Yang Dingtian's chances weren't high either. Taking a deep breath, Yang Dingtian asked, Qin Chichi's Special Blood Eye Army, 3,000 people annihilated 80,000 people? Yes. Jiao Liao said, the 80,000 people of the Southwest Alliance Army had almost no ability to resist. It was like slaughtering chickens and dogs. This army of 3,000 people had invincible weapons. Invulnerable armor, fearless of death, as if they didn't know pain, and pressed forward courageously. Moreover, each of them had a cultivation of high-level martial mystic level or above. 3,000 people formed a neat formation, like a complete killing machine. Suddenly, the air in the main hall suddenly turned cold. This army was undoubtedly a secret army from the evil ways. Yang Dingtian knew better than anyone how terrifying this army was. Invincible weapons, invulnerable armor, were already extremely terrifying. The most important thing was that there was no emotion, no fear, 3,000 people as one. How many martial mystic level experts could a Grandmaster level expert kill? At most, it shouldn't exceed 300 before their mystic chi was completely exhausted. Therefore, even in this world of powerful martial arts, an elite army still had great significance. A Grandmaster-level expert was extremely powerful, but if he didn't use poison, he could only kill a few thousand people with his own cultivation. Then, what if it was an army of 100,000, or a few 100,000? And then? Yang Dingtian asked. Then, I was taken captive. Jiao Liao said, but Qin Chichi let me go, saying that you wouldn't be able to come back. She said to let, Jiao Liao couldn't continue. Go on. Yang Dingtian said. She said to let Madame Yan Yan and Madame Shiman bathe and wait for her husband, Ning Wuming. Jiao Liao said. Suddenly, the entire main hall was filled with anger. And then? Yang Dingtian continued to ask. Then, I saw Ling Yanmei appear. Originally, Pavilion Master Duan Rian had completely severed her mystic meridians, but when she appeared again, not only did her cultivation recover, but her strength also skyrocketed, and she became a high-level grandmaster. Jiao Liao said, then, she carried out a bloody purge in Sky Phoenix Pavilion. There were more than 10,000 disciples in Sky Phoenix Pavilion, and more than half of them were killed. Among them, the most beautiful ones were all crippled of their martial arts and sent to a mysterious place as female slaves to various major forces. Qin Chichi's upper echelons were also used to humiliate them. Boom! Yang Dingtian's body was abruptly ignited with fury. Yang Dingtian suddenly stood up and wrote on the pillar with his sword, I swear to kill Qin Chichi. Then, he looked at the crowd and said, everyone, I once spared Qin Ji's life. But now, please remember this and remind me in the future. No matter what difficulties Qin Chichi has, no matter what changes she makes, I will definitely kill her. I will definitely put her to death in front of tens of thousands of people, and cut her into 1,000 pieces. If I violate this oath, I will be like this beast. After saying that, Yang Dingtian aimed at a golden lion in front of him and slashed it down. In an instant, the golden lion was completely smashed into pieces. Yes! Everyone shouted. Yang Dingtian took in a deep breath and suppressed his anger that soared to the sky. He asked, that world meeting, that Northwest Qin City also said that they want to suppress us. What's going on? Let me explain this matter. Wooden Sword Castle's Li Guinong said, last month, 5 days after the war in the southwest. As the leader of the Tiando League's Northwest branch, Ling Yanmei convened a meeting of the Tiando League. The meeting was about the disappearance of the future leader of the Tiando League and the future headmaster of Yinyang School, Dongfang Bingling. At this point, Yang Dingtian's heart skipped a beat. Then, Li Guinong narrated the matter. The Yinyang School's Northwest branch reported that they had completely lost contact with Dongfang Bingling for several months. They suspected that Dongfang Bingling had met with some mishap, so they requested the Tiando League's Northwest branch to help investigate. Later, someone reported to the Tiando League's Northwest branch, saying that they had seen Dongfang Bingling with a strange man and that she was heavily injured. Later, they found out that this strange man had left Cloud Sky City on a winged mount. Therefore, they suspected that this strange man was related to Yang Dingtian. Therefore, they suspected that Dongfang Bingling's disappearance was related to Yang Dingtian. Li Guinong said, therefore, at that time, the Tiando League's Northwest branch's meeting, the topic of discussion was whether or not to take coercive measures against City Lord Yang Dingtian. They asked whether or not Dongfang Bingling's disappearance was related to City Lord Yang Dingtian. But later, someone directly showed the Tiando League's Northwest branch something. It was a recording jade. On the screen, Miss Dongfang Bingling was covered in blood. She was lying beside a man on the verge of death, and this man was undressing her. The man on the screen was you. Therefore, they said that you used despicable means to kill Miss Dongfang Bingling and humiliated her. Previously, Ling Yanmei proposed to expel Cloud Sky City from the Tiando League and gather the Northwest Tiando League's army to suppress Cloud Sky City. However, she didn't get any approval. But after Ling Yanmei showed this evidence, the Tiando League's Northwest branch completely passed this resolution. Expel Cloud Sky City from the Tiando League, and the Tiando League's Northwest branch gradually joined forces to suppress the Tiando League. Suddenly, Yang Dingtian's heart was completely shaken. It was no wonder there were rumors that the Northwest Qin City and the World Society were going to send a crusade. The Divine Weapons Manor, Sky Phoenix Pavilion, Autumn Water Sword Sect, White Cloud City, and all the other Heaven Dao Union factions in the Western world were going to send a crusade against Cloud Heaven City. Yang Dingtian closed his eyes and began to recall. That's right, there was such a scene. However, Yang Dingtian and Dongfang Bingling escaped from Sky Demon City. At that time, Yang Dingtian and Yi Chanshan were being chased by the 4 elders of the Ning clan of the South Sea. Dongfang Bingling tried to save Yang Dingtian, but her sea of energy shattered. She was covered in blood and on the verge of death. In the valley of Sky Demon City, Yang Dingtian took off her clothes and checked her injuries. But he didn't expect that this scene would also fall into the eyes of the evil ways. They even recorded it with the recording jade as evidence. I also saw the recording on the recording jade. Li Guinong said, in fact, it looked more like you were saving Miss Dongfang Bingling instead of hurting her. However, the annihilation of the Sky Phoenix Pavilion scared everyone out of their wits, so this decision was passed. Of course, I objected, so I was also seen as an accomplice of Cloud Sky City. Ling Yanmei has already reported to the Yinyang School and the Black Heaven sect. They also want to remove the Wooden Sword Castle from the list. They also suggested that the Ning clan of the South Sea should replace them and become a member of the Tiando League. When he said this, Yang Dingtian couldn't help but laugh coldly. There was nothing more ridiculous in this world than this. The evil ways were actually going to join the Tiando League. Then, is the matter of Cloud Sky City being expelled from the Tiando League completely settled? Yang Dingtian asked. Not yet. Li Guinong said, the Tiando League Northwest branch doesn't have the authority to kick a member out of the Tiando League. Only the headquarters of the Tiando League has this authority. Therefore, they have already reported to the headquarters of the Eastern Cloud State Tiando League. In about 2 months, they will have a discussion. At that time, whether or not Cloud Sky City will be expelled will depend on the results of this discussion. But the Northwest Tiando League's Crusade Army will still attack Cloud Sky City? Yang Dingtian asked. Yes. Li Guinong said, the Tiando League Northwest Branch has discussed the crusade on the 20th of next month. There are still 25 days until today. How many troops will the other party send? Yang Dingtian asked. In the meeting, only the Autumn Water Sword sect will send 10,000 troops. The Ning clan of the South Sea will send 50,000 troops. The Northwest Qin City will send 80,000 troops. The White Cloud City will send 20,000 troops. The West Continent City will send 20,000 troops. The 20,000 Wind Sword sect will send 20,000 troops. Li Guinong said, the rest of the forces, such as the World Society and the Divine Weapons Villa, are actually just observing. They only symbolically said that they will send troops. They haven't made a final decision. As Li Guinong said these numbers, the atmosphere in the main hall became more and more solemn. As of now, the number of troops in this alliance army was more than 200,000. The situation had really changed. In the future, the Crusade army wouldn't be Qin Shiqi's 100,000 troops, but an alliance army of 200,000. Qin Shiqi was more powerful than expected. Of course, she wouldn't need such a large force to destroy a mere Cloud Sky City. She and Ning Wuming were using the opportunity to destroy Cloud Sky City and Yang Dingtian to force the forces in the Western world to stand on the side of the evil ways. Evil ways had really become smarter. They didn't directly start a war to destroy the world and sweep up tens of millions of troops to sweep the world. They had also learned to use the mask of justice. They actually used the name of the Tiando League to destroy the leader of the Tiando League. There was no other ridiculous thing in the world that could be compared to this. Qin Shiqi and Ning Wuming were so powerful that the Temple of Annihilation would definitely have a whole new level of respect for them. In the Tiando League Northwest Conference, did the Qin City Lord and the World Society Lord personally participate? Yang Dingtian asked. No. Li Guinong said, Qin City sent the sect lord's wife as a representative. The World Society sent Song Minghua as a representative. Song Minghua was Song Chuanhua's younger brother. In the World Society, he was considered one of the more outstanding disciples. He wasn't as foppish as Song Chuanhua's other younger brothers, but his talent wasn't top-notch. Then there's still a chance. Yang Dingtian said, especially the World Society. Yang Dingtian sat back on the golden throne and said, our situation looks very hopeless and scary. But in reality, it's not that scary. Because the ones who really want to kill us are only Qin Shiqi, Ning Wuming, and the other evil ways. The rest of them are all sitting on the fence. When Yang Dingtian said this, everyone in the Cloud Sky City's Elders Guild was shocked. Their eyes lit up as they waited for Yang Dingtian to continue. To be honest, the enormous pressure they had been under recently had almost made them collapse. That kind of hopeless atmosphere, that feeling of being betrayed by everyone and being the enemy of the whole world, really made them feel hopeless. Even Madame Shiman felt that there was no hope of winning. Now, Yang Dingtian actually said that they had a high chance of winning. In the next 25 days, we will be divided into 2 factions. Yang Dingtian said, one is the invisible political battlefield. The other one is the tangible one, the punitive army in 25 days. The most important one is the invisible political battlefield. As long as we win the political war, we will have a higher chance of winning the tangible war. Yang Dingtian said loudly, to be honest, what 200,000 allied troops, what 10 grandmasters and 1 great grandmaster by Qin Shiqi's side? And what 3,000 blood pupil army? I don't really care about that. Qin Shiqi's side has 9 grandmasters, so do we, Yang Dingtian said loudly. Of course, we have 5, 6, or even more. Qin Shiqi's side has 1 great grandmaster, so do we, Yang Dingtian said loudly. As for their so-called army, 50,000? 100,000? Yang Dingtian sneered and said, I don't put them in my eyes. I can tell everyone clearly that we have an incomparably huge strength in our hands. It doesn't matter if they come with 100,000 or 200,000 men, we will annihilate their entire army. Their army can even touch the borders of Cloud Sky City. Shimin Lai, don't you think so? Have you prepared the things I asked you to prepare? Everything is ready, Shimin Lai said. How's the power? Yang Dingtian asked. Earth-shattering, Shimin Lai said. Yang Dingtian said, so, the most important thing for us is the political battlefield. We have to completely defeat Qin Chi and the Ning clan of the South Sea. We have to expose their evil nature. We have to make all the factions on the fence stand on our side. We have to turn ourselves into the righteous side and our enemies into the evil side. We have to increase the number of our comrades. Evil ways will have no place in the Western world. This is the foundation of this war. Then, the key to this political war lies in 2 points, Yang Dingtian said loudly. First, the world society. We have to pull the world society to our side. Second, the northwest Qin city. We have to push Qin Huayu to the position of Qin city's young lord and completely kill Qin Chi. Sect leader Qin Wanchou has no choice. As long as the world society and the northwest Qin city are united, the entire Western world will be completely united. The other small demons and ghosts won't be able to cause any waves. When Yang Dingtian said this, everyone was instantly excited. Like a gust of wind, the darkness in front of them was blown away. Chunhua, make some preparations. Qin Huayu and I will immediately accompany you to the World Society, Yang Dingtian said. This matter should not be delayed. Only by taking care of the World Society can we take care of the Northwest Qin City. Yes. Song Chunhua bowed. City Lord. Mu Lianqing said, according to our intelligence, the Metal Sword Fortress and Shimanju are holding a meeting and are planning to revolt. The meeting will be held tonight. That's great. Yang Dingtian laughed and said, to resist foreign aggression, we must first pacify our internal affairs. I was just worried that I wouldn't have the chance to eliminate these useless people. Tonight, we will make a trip to the Metal Sword Fortress and start a massacre. We will wipe out all the feudal vassals in the Cloud Heaven City territory. Yes, I will immediately prepare the troops. Shimin Lai said. No need. Yang Dingtian said, just the few of us will be enough to wipe them out. Yang Dingtian looked at Qin Huayu and said, Senior brother Qin, let's prepare to kill tonight. That would be great. I have been holding it in for the past few months. Qin Huayu sneered. Alright, let's eat. After eating, we will set off immediately, Yang Dingtian said. Right at this moment, someone suddenly shouted from outside, reporting to the city lord, the Mystic Heaven Sect's young lord, Zhu Hongxue, is here to visit. Chapter 428. Yang Dingtian couldn't help but frown. He didn't expect Zhu Hongxue to come. Of course, he might have been near Cloud Sky City all along, waiting for Yang Dingtian to appear. Even though his impression of Zhu Hongxue had changed greatly, Yang Dingtian still had a headache dealing with such a person. People like Zhu Hongxue were characterized by extreme pride and stubbornness. He came without a doubt because of Dongfang Bingling. On this point, Yang Dingtian had completely touched his reverse scale. Therefore, Yang Dingtian wasn't surprised at all by Zhu Hongxue's reaction. However, even if it was a headache, he still had to meet him. In the next 1 or 2 months, the Tiando League headquarters would discuss whether or not to expel Cloud Sky City. Regarding this, Black Sky Sect and Yin-Yang School's attitude was the most important. Of course, Zhu Qingzhu was already part of the evil ways, but Zhu Hongxue wasn't. Therefore, Zhu Hongxue's attitude was especially important. Yang Dingtian stood up and was about to personally welcome Zhu Hongxue. Boom! At this moment, a loud sound was heard. The door of the main hall was blown to pieces. Zhu Hongxue stood outside with a cold expression on his extremely handsome face. In the square, countless Cloud Sky City disciples gathered around and looked at Zhu Hongxue's back. Some of them were angry, but most of them were weak and looked up to him. Zhu Hongxue came to smash the door and slap their faces, but the Cloud Sky City disciples were still afraid and looked up to him. Yang Dingtian's heart was filled with sorrow and anger. All along, the Cloud Sky City disciples had always felt inferior in front of these famous sections. This was because Cloud Sky City had always been eyeing Yinyang School's rebellious reputation. Even though it was in the Tiando League, it didn't have a place in the 3 sects, 9 clans, and 27 branches. No matter where they went, they couldn't raise their heads when they met disciples from famous sections. Not to mention, in front of them was the famous genius, Zhu Hongxue, who was as famous as Dongfang Bingling. Therefore, Zhu Hongxue came to slap their faces. The first reaction of the disciples of Cloud Sky City was not anger or questioning, but fear and uneasiness. It was as if they had really done something shameful. Yang Dingtian, come here. Zhu Hongxue said coldly. I don't want to kill you in front of so many Cloud Sky City disciples. Suddenly, Yang Dingtian almost exploded with anger. He knew that Zhu Hongxue was annoying, but he didn't expect it to be to this extent. That kind of high and mighty attitude, as if calling for cats and dogs. This was not the Black Heaven sect. This was Cloud Sky City. Before Yang Dingtian could say anything, Song Chunhua was enraged. She drew her sword and was about to step forward to fight. Yang Dingtian gently pulled Song Chunhua to the side. He walked up to Zhu Hongxue and said indifferently, Zhu Hongxue, if you're here to discuss matters, then speak properly. Otherwise, scram. How dare you talk to me like that? You are courting death. Zhu Hongxue's face turned cold. When he said the last 2 words, there was a sudden gust of wind. The dust on the ground flew up, and the hall was like thunder. Outside, the thousands of Cloud Sky City disciples instinctively retreated. It wasn't that they were afraid of death, but they were instinctively afraid of Zhu Hongxue and felt inferior. In their eyes, Zhu Hongxue was the youth leader of the Tiando League. He even held the fate of Cloud Sky City in his hands. Of course, that was the truth. As for Cloud Sky City's position in the Tiando League, it was indeed up to people like Zhu Hongxue and Dongfang Bingling to decide. Therefore, during Yang Dingtian's ascension ceremony, Dongfang Bingling only appeared for a short while. All of Qin Huayu's actions, as well as those of Cloud Sky City's opposition, were silenced. They didn't dare to act rashly. This wouldn't do. The disciples of Cloud Sky City were too inferior. If this continued, they wouldn't be able to withstand the terrifying battle that was coming. Before the battle even started, their hearts would already collapse. They had to be given a spiritual sustenance, a powerful spiritual idol. Of course, this spiritual idol could only be Yang Dingtian. Yang Dingtian slowly took a few steps forward. He looked at Zhu Hongxue and said, I'll give you 2 choices. First, speak nicely. Put away your arrogance and don't appear to be so uncultured. Second, you and I have a good fight. Since you're uncultured, I'll help you educate yourself. Then, we can have a good talk. Yang Dingtian's words resounded throughout the entire Cloud Sky City. All of the Cloud Sky City disciples were shocked. Their city lord actually dared to speak to Zhu Hongxue like that. This was a complete humiliation. He was scolding Zhu Hongxue for being uncultured, so Yang Dingtian wanted to discipline him on behalf of his father. Instantly, Zhu Hongxue was enraged. Bitch, you're courting death. His shout was like thunder. Then, a flame suddenly emerged from his body, burning fiercely. In an instant, the entire square was filled with a murderous aura. Originally, I didn't want to humiliate you in front of everyone in Cloud Sky City. Who knew that a bitch like you would speak such arrogant words? You're completely seeking your own death. Zhu Hongxue roared. Then, he flew up into the air and pointed his sword at Yang Dingtian. Come out. In front of all the Cloud Sky City disciples, I'll tear you into pieces. I'll let everyone see clearly that there are some people that you can't offend. Yang Dingtian pulled out his sword and flew out of the main hall. He was 100 meters away from Zhu Hongxue. Floating in the air, he looked at Zhu Hongxue and said coldly, "Your brain is really damaged. If I don't teach you a lesson, you won't be able to wake up for the rest of your life. Shut up. Don't provoke me into killing you and taking my anger out on others." Zhu Hongxue roared. "Trash like you doesn't have the qualifications to fight with me. Today, I'm giving you too much credit for fighting with me. If I can't kill you in one move, it'll be a disgrace to me. Kill me in one move?" Yang Dingtian laughed loudly. "Zhu Hongxue, you'll regret what you said for the rest of your life. Then, I also swear that if I can't defeat you in 3 moves, you can do whatever you want to me." Ha ha ha. Zhu Hongxue was so angry that he burst into laughter. He only felt that this world was incomparably ridiculous. There was actually an ant that said that he could defeat him in 3 moves. Yang Dingtian, you took advantage of the opportunity to obtain the position of Cloud Sky City's lord. You've become so arrogant that you've lost your sense of measure. Zhu Hongxue laughed loudly. "If you want to destroy someone, you have to make them crazy first. If it weren't for Bing Ling, you wouldn't even have the qualifications to talk to me, let alone fight with me. You despicable opportunist. Do you know that if you fight with me, even if you die, it'll be enough for your name to spread throughout the world? Now, you actually dare to say that you can defeat me. In the younger generation of the world, other than Bing Ling, no one is my opponent. Even the dead Shimin Weia wouldn't dare to say that you can defeat me in 3 moves." Yang Dingtian couldn't help but be speechless. This Zhu Hongxue was actually arrogant to such an extent. Shimin Weia's absolute strength was someone who surpassed his father, Zhu Qingzhu. It could be said that in today's world, other than the mysterious Wolingzi, no one was Shimin Weia's opponent. Judging from Zhu Hongxue's tone, he actually didn't even think highly of Shimin Weia. Instantly, Yang Dingtian looked at Zhu Hongxue quietly and said indifferently, "Come, make your move and kill me instantly. It's time for you, this proud son of heaven, to wake up." Zhu Hongxue's gaze focused. He held the soul sword in his hand, condensed his celestial qi, and condensed his celestial fire. Boom! The raging flames instantly rose by several feet. Zhu Hongxue's sharp sword and his entire person were burning fiercely. He was already extremely handsome and was listed as the most handsome man in the world. At this moment, he was even more like a god of war descending. The eyes of all the Cloud Sky City disciples were filled with fear, admiration, and incomparable worry. They didn't think that Yang Dingtian would be Zhu Hongxue's opponent at all. Although their city lord had created countless miracles, he was at most a beginner-level martial honorable. It was impossible for him to be Zhu Hongxue's opponent. He didn't even have the qualifications to fight. Although they stood on Yang Dingtian's side, they completely agreed with Zhu Hongxue's words. Even their hearts were deeply pierced by it. The highest leader of Cloud Sky City, their leader, was actually only a beginner-level martial honorable. In the past, they could still use Yang Dingtian's young age to hypnotize themselves. However, Zhu Hongxue's appearance directly pierced through the weakest part of their hearts. Their city lord was so weak and Cloud Sky City was in such a critical situation. Could Yang Dingtian lead Cloud Sky City to become stronger? Or, not to mention becoming stronger, could Yang Dingtian protect Cloud Sky City? The answer was a complete no. No matter how talented Yang Dingtian was, he was still a martial honorable. No one would wait for him to become stronger. To an ordinary person, a martial honorable was already strong enough. However, to a leader of a sect, there was nothing weaker than this. In an instant, the hearts of the Cloud Sky City disciples became even more inferior and weak. The morale that Yang Dingtian's heroic words had previously boosted was like a soap bubble that had burst. The mysterious flame of Zhu Hongxue's soul sword had already burned to the extreme. Yang Dingtian, this is a peerless soul sword. This is a heaven and earth level mysterious flame. To be able to die under my sword is enough for you to live in glory for the rest of your life, Zhu Hongxue shouted and slashed out with the sharp sword in his hand. Boom! There was no mysterious technique or any fancy moves. It was just the most direct sword radiance that was mixed with the energy of the mysterious flame. However, it was already earth-shattering enough to blind everyone. This sword radiance was like lightning that tore the sky apart. It was like a ray of light that shot down from the ninth heaven. In an instant, it streaked across the sky a few thousand meters above the square of Cloud Sky City. It completely blocked out the brilliance of the sun and illuminated the sky above Cloud Sky City. The people in the square were unable to see anything. Then, this earth-shattering sword radiance suddenly shot towards Yang Dingtian. Almost instantly, Yang Dingtian's body was completely swallowed up. In an instant, all the disciples in the square of Cloud Sky City closed their eyes. Their hearts were filled with despair and they did not dare to look anymore. This was because there was only one ending in their hearts. Their governor's body was smashed into pieces and turned into ashes. After slashing out the sword radiance, Zhu Hongxue kept his sword and stood there without looking. He glanced at the densely packed crowd on the ground as if he was looking at ants. He said disdainfully, "From now on, there will be no more Yang Dingtian in this world." After saying this, Zhu Hongxue turned around and was about to leave. "Zhu Hongxue, your high and mighty face is truly disgusting." Suddenly, Yang Dingtian's casual voice echoed in everyone's ears. In an instant, everyone was shocked and looked up into the sky in disbelief. Their governor actually did not die. Their governor actually did not die under Zhu Hongxue's earth-shattering attack. One must know that their governor was only a beginner revered martial artist while Zhu Hongxue was infinitely close to becoming a martial scholar. After hearing Yang Dingtian's words, Zhu Hongxue suddenly trembled and turned around in disbelief. The radiance gradually dimmed and Yang Dingtian was still floating in the air. Not to mention being seriously injured, he was completely unharmed. How is this possible? Zhu Hongxue hissed, "Impossible. How could you not die from my attack? What kind of treasure did you get this time?" Previously, Yang Dingtian thought that under Zhu Hongxue's arrogance, he had a righteous character and was worth roping in as an ally. Now, Yang Dingtian began to doubt this point. Because, although this person had a prideful character, he was too arrogant and could not tolerate others being stronger than him. In the entire world, he only had Dongfang Bingling in his eyes. If others were stronger than him, then they must have obtained some treasure through despicable means, and definitely not through their own strength. "You are really hopeless." Yang Dingtian said lightly, "Now, it's my turn." "Is that a peerless soul sword?" Yang Dingtian said lightly, "Mine is also a soul sword. Every strand of it was personally forged by me. As for its grade, I don't know. I can only tell you that if there is an emperor-grade soul sword in the world, it is mine." Yang Dingtian held the soul sword in his hand. Suddenly, his soul sword shot out rays of light. Powerful, golden and noble rays of light burst out of the entire Cloud Sky City square. This light was almost exactly the same as the sun. It was as if the sun was shining on the entire Cloud Sky City. Countless Cloud Sky City disciples were mesmerized by this ray of light. They looked up at Cloud Sky City in the sky and suddenly felt an urge to worship it. "You said the heaven and earth obsidian flame?" Yang Dingtian said lightly, "Your obsidian flame is called the thunderous flame, right? It is ranked 8th among the 9 obsidian flames in the world." Yang Dingtian stretched out his left hand. Suddenly, a flame floated to his palm. It was beautiful and mysterious. Even the light of the soul sword could not suppress it. "Didn't anyone tell you that my obsidian flame is also a heaven and earth obsidian flame? The million spirit demon flame is ranked 6th in the world. Or is it because your brain and eyes can't tolerate anything else?" Yang Dingtian said lightly. Looking at the million spirit demon flame in Yang Dingtian's palm, Zhu Hongxue's face started to twitch. The moment he obtained the great thunderous flame, his confidence had swelled immeasurably. He knew that there were other heaven and earth obsidian flames, but he felt that these obsidian flames were either waiting for him to collect them or only people like Dongfang Bingling would have them. A lowly person like Yang Dingtian had a heaven and earth obsidian flame? What a joke! A heaven and earth obsidian flame would choose its owner. How could a person like Yang Dingtian be worthy of it? Then, Yang Dingtian grasped the soul sword in his right hand. Whoosh! Suddenly, an even more beautiful flame with constantly changing colors emerged from the soul sword. Not only do I have a heaven and earth obsidian flame, but I also have more than one, Yang Dingtian said lightly. This one is called the demon spirit demon flame. It is also a heaven and earth obsidian flame. It is ranked 4th among the 9 flames in the world. Zhu Hongxue, put away your arrogant face. Yang Dingtian said lightly, not only am I the Lord of Cloud Heaven City, but I am also the successor of the Yinyang school. I am the only successor of Dongfang Minmi. In terms of status and background, I am not inferior to you at all. And for a man, the most important thing is ideals and strength. Ideals, I will talk to you later. Now, I want to talk to you about strength. Yang Dingtian said lightly, previously, I said that I would defeat you in 3 moves. Now, I regret my words. I take them back. When Yang Dingtian said this, everyone's expression changed slightly. I have changed my words. You are worse than I thought. Yang Dingtian said, then, I will change my words. I will defeat you in 1 move. If I can't do it, then I will be at your mercy. When these words came out, everyone in Cloud Heaven City was shocked. Defeat Zhu Hongxue in 1 move? Oh my god! How could it be? Zhu Hongxue was infinitely close to becoming a master. If their city lord could defeat Zhu Hongxue in 1 move, how powerful would that be? Zhu Hongxue was already shocked by the fact that Yang Dingtian had 2 obsidian flames. He was already going crazy and was on the verge of collapsing. At this moment, he heard Yang Dingtian say that he would defeat him in 1 move. Instantly, his fighting spirit soared to the heavens. Yang Dingtian, I don't know what despicable means you used to obtain 2 obsidian flames. Just like how you used Bing Ling's identity to obtain many things that you shouldn't have. But now, you are saying that you will defeat me in 1 move. This is the most ridiculous thing in the world. Zhu Hongxue laughed and said, don't even mention 1 move. Even if it's 10 or 100 moves, you can forget about defeating me. Then, I will also swear that as long as you can defeat me, I will be at your mercy right here in Cloud Heaven City's plaza. Yang Dingtian looked at him and said indifferently, I won't kill you or cut you. If I say that I will defeat you in 1 move, then I will do it in 1 move. If I can do it, I will ask you to take back your face, pick up your manners, and listen to me properly. Can you do that? Shut up. Defeat me first. Zhu Hongxue said furiously. All right. Yang Dingtian said indifferently, your thunderous flame is invulnerable. My Xian techniques are inferior. Then, you will use your thunderous shield to the maximum. I don't want to have an unfair advantage. Zhu Hongxue was so angry that he almost vomited blood. Boom! Suddenly, a flame soared into the sky and completely enveloped Zhu Hongxue's body. Then, a golden light shield suddenly lit up and enveloped Zhu Hongxue's entire body. Zhu Hongxue knew that this thunderous shield couldn't block lightning attribute Xian techniques. But, he didn't think that lightning attribute Xian techniques could defeat him in an instant. Yang Dingtian, I know that a speculator like you still has lightning attribute Xian talismans. But if you want to defeat me with mere lightning attribute energy, you are dreaming. Zhu Hongxue sneered. Don't worry, I won't use lightning attribute Xian techniques. Yang Dingtian said. Yes, if you don't use lightning attribute Xian techniques, you want to break my thunderous shield? Dream on. Zhu Hongxue said. You should speak less. The more you speak, the more you will lose face. Yang Dingtian said indifferently, are you ready? Bring it on. Zhu Hongxue sneered, if I am defeated by you, I will let you kill me. Remember your words. Yang Dingtian said indifferently. Whoosh! Yang Dingtian opened his left hand. Immediately, the devil spirit fiend flame's ice-sealing energy shot out. At the same time, Yang Dingtian's right hand's soul sword suddenly slashed. A golden sword aura shot out. Everyone on the ground was shocked and looked up at the sky. Chapter 429. Zhu Hongxue had absolute confidence in his thunderous dark fire shield. Apart from the lightning element, it could withstand all kinds of energy damage, including the dark fire. Therefore, so what if Yang Dingtian displayed two heaven and earth mystic flames? He still could not break through his thunderous shield. Moreover, Zhu Hongxue did not think that Yang Dingtian had the so-called lightning element talent. Even if he did, it would be from the dark talisman of the lightning element. It was impossible for him to defeat Zhu Hongxue with that little bit of lightning energy. It could be said that Zhu Hongxue had slightly awakened from his rage and shock. He felt that although Yang Dingtian had somehow obtained two heaven and earth dark fires, there was still a huge gap between him and Zhu Hongxue in terms of cultivation. Zhu Hongxue calmed down even more after he thought this through. Although the dark fire was important to a person's strength, cultivation was more important. If Yang Dingtian wanted to defeat Zhu Hongxue, he would have to surpass Zhu Hongxue in terms of cultivation. It was absolutely impossible for Zhu Hongxue to do so. In his mind, Yang Dingtian might have some talent and had obtained some treasures by luck. Therefore, he might have broken through a lot in just a few years. For example, he might have broken through dozens of levels because of the Yin-Yang festival. However, this kind of luck would end at the martial revered level. It would be a battle of talent and wisdom if one went beyond that. Therefore, it was impossible for Zhu Hongxue to think that Yang Dingtian's cultivation had reached his level. Yang Dingtian's attack was very fast. It could even be said that it was an understatement. His left hand gently flung out a blue halo. Then, his right hand directly slashed out a golden sword light. Zhu Hongxue saw this and smiled coldly. It was impossible for him to break through Zhu Hongxue's thunderous shield and defeat Zhu Hongxue with this little bit of energy. However, Zhu Hongxue was instantly horrified. Almost instantly, he felt that he could not move at all. His entire body seemed to have been completely frozen and imprisoned. This was because a mysterious blue energy body had sealed him in an instant. All the dark chi stopped, the thunderous fire was extinguished, and the thunderous shield disappeared. At the same time, Yang Dingtian slashed out a golden sword light. Like lightning, it directly hit his chest. Pooh! Fresh blood spurted out. Zhu Hongxue's body was sent flying like a piece of straw. Ah! Everyone cried out in surprise, looking at all this in disbelief. This included Madame Shimin, the other members of Cloud Sky City's Elders Guild, and even Shimin Yanyan and Qin Jiaojiao. Yanyan loved Yang Dingtian the most and had full confidence in him. He knew that Yang Dingtian would never make irresponsible remarks, but in his heart, he absolutely did not dare to believe that Yang Dingtian's cultivation was superior to Zhu Hongxue's. Yanyan was very clear about her husband's cultivation. He was only a beginner martial honorable. He had only left home for 2 months, and at that time, his cultivation progress was already very slow. Therefore, in Yanyan's heart, Yang Dingtian's cultivation was at most a 3-star martial honor. Of course, almost all the members of Cloud Sky City's Elders Guild thought the same. Therefore, although they believed that Yang Dingtian would not make irresponsible remarks, they still did not dare to imagine that Yang Dingtian could defeat Zhu Hongxue in one move. As for the many disciples of Cloud Sky City, when Yang Dingtian received Zhu Hongxue's attack and came out unscathed, their minds had already gone numb. At this moment, they saw that their own city lord had actually defeated Zhu Hongxue in one move. Extreme shock, in an instant, caused their minds to lose all sense of feeling. It was as if their entire bodies were floating, and they felt that it was completely unreal. Even if it was a dream, even if it was a fantasy, they did not dare to imagine such an outcome. The high and mighty Zhu Hongxue had actually been defeated by City Lord Yang Dingtian in one move. Of course, everyone's shock added together could not compare to Zhu Hongxue's. The moment he was sent flying and spat out blood, it was as if a bomb had directly exploded in Zhu Hongxue's mind. Then, his mind went completely blank, and he lost all sense of feeling. In fact, he could not even feel the shock anymore. To Zhu Hongxue, he would rather believe that the world had been destroyed, that the sun rose from the west, than believe that Yang Dingtian could defeat him in one move. Therefore, for a moment the entire Cloud Sky City Square was dead silent. Zhu Hongxue's mind was completely blank. After a full 15 minutes, all his emotions, all his feelings, crazily surged into his mind. His world had collapsed, and his mind had collapsed. His extreme pride, his extreme conceit, and his entire worldview. He had almost completely collapsed. Then, almost instinctively, Zhu Hongxue roared, "Yang Dingtian, what kind of sorcery did you use? You caused your Bingling's death, what kind of sorcery did you get?" Yang Dingtian could not help but be stunned. He really did not expect Zhu Hongxue to have such a reaction. He actually linked it to sorcery. Seeing Yang Dingtian's reaction, Zhu Hongxue seemed to have grasped at a life-saving straw. He roared, "Yes, what kind of sorcery did you get? You must have gotten some sorcery. Otherwise, you could not have defeated me. My talent is unparalleled in the world. In just 3 years, you could not have defeated me. Even if the world was turned upside down, it would still be impossible." Then, Zhu Hongxue suddenly jumped up and wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth. His face was distorted as he said, "Yang Dingtian, what sorcery did you use? What sorcery did you use?" Once these words were spoken, everyone in the Cloud Sky City Square could not help but reveal a strange expression. This was because Zhu Hongxue's defeat was too strange. It was almost inexplicable, and no one could see the entire process. Yang Dingtian defeating Zhu Hongxue in one move, of course, they wanted it to happen even in their dreams. But when it really happened, this feeling was too unreal. "Yang Dingtian, what sorcery did you use? Your cultivation is far inferior to mine. What sorcery did you use?" Zhu Hongxue said sternly, "You must tell me, or else I will let the Tiando League punish you." Yang Dingtian looked at Zhu Hongxue and shook his head lightly, "Zhu Hongxue, you really disappoint people." Then, Yang Dingtian took a deep breath and said, "All right, I will give you one last chance to be convinced. You and I will not use mystic flames, mystic skills, or anything else. Just a clash of strength, a clash of mystic chi. Do you dare?" "Dare? Why wouldn't I dare? My cultivation is far superior to yours. Why wouldn't I dare?" Zhu Hongxue said loudly. "No mystic skills, no mystic flames, just a clash of swords, a clash of mystic chi." Yang Dingtian took a deep breath and instantly gathered all the mystic chi in his body. Boom! All the mystic chi in Yang Dingtian's body suddenly exploded. Suddenly, there was a thunderous sound in the air. Then, the sharp sword in his hand suddenly bloomed with a dazzling light. Zhu Hongxue's eyes were scarlet red. He suddenly gathered all the mystic chi in his body. Bang! There was also a loud sound. The mystic chi suddenly exploded. "Kill! Kill!" The two of them shouted at the same time. Then, like meteors, they shot out. The two figures directly turned into a stream of light. Because their speed was too fast, they immediately dragged out a long sharp light shadow. They tore through the air and made a whistling sound. In an instant, the two figures were like meteors. They fiercely collided. Like Mars colliding with Earth, they fiercely collided. This was the most direct collision. There was no technique, no mystic skills, and no mystic flames. It was purely a clash of strength, speed, mystic chi, and willpower. Boom! There was a loud sound. The sound of two fierce energies colliding. The sound of two swords fiercely colliding. Everyone felt a sharp pain in their ears. Their hearts suddenly jumped, as if their chests were about to split open. Pft! Zhu Hongshue's body fiercely flew out. In the air, he violently spat out a mouthful of blood. Yang Dingtian, on the other hand, only trembled slightly. There was no reaction at all. Zhu Hongxue was defeated again. He was completely defeated. Of course, Yang Dingtian had a reaction. Blood rolled over his chest. The mystic meridians in his body seemed to be broken inch by inch. His internal organs seemed to have been displaced. There was a sweet taste in his throat. He almost spat out a mouthful of blood. However, he forced it back and swallowed it. It was not that he cared about his face. He wanted to completely subdue Zhu Hongxue. Because he really wanted to win Zhu Hongxue over. That was why he agreed to have such a naked mystic chi fight with him. Otherwise, Yang Dingtian's trump card was much stronger than Zhu Hongxue's. If he fought with Yang Dingtian directly, he would be at a disadvantage. Yang Dingtian's Sea of Qi cultivation was at the level of a 2-star grandmaster. However, because he did not learn the 4th stage of the pig-slaying swordsmanship, he could only display the standard of a 9-star 9th-grade revered martial artist. This level of mystic qi was exactly the same as Zhu Hongxue's. Therefore, Yang Dingtian did not have much of an advantage in a direct mystic qi fight. Of course, Yang Dingtian still won in the end. Zhu Hongxue was still defeated. Because Yang Dingtian's soul sword had an almost heaven-defying mystic qi boost. Also, because Yang Dingtian had 9 Yang mystic meridians and had been modified by Naga's mystic meridians, his resistance to attacks was higher than Zhu Hongxue's. Therefore, Zhu Hongxue was sent flying and spat out a mouthful of blood. Because of these reasons, although the two of them had the same cultivation, one won and one lost. Moreover, because Yang Dingtian endured the immense pain, the situation seemed to be one-sided. After a long while, Yang Dingtian suppressed the blood in his chest and dared to speak. Otherwise, he would have spat out blood the moment he opened his mouth. Zhu Hongxue, that was a naked mystic chi fight, right? What else do you have to say? Do you admit defeat? Yang Dingtian said coldly. At this moment, Zhu Hongxue's face was pale. His entire face was filled with bewilderment. His pupils were almost unfocused. After hearing Yang Dingtian's words, he spat out another mouthful of blood. He raised the sword in his hand with a blank face. Then, he realized that a hole had appeared on the soul sword that he was so proud of. His indestructible soul sword, actually had a crack. Yang Dingtian's soul sword had actually slashed out a crack. At this moment, he had no reason to lie to himself. Yang Dingtian did not use any demonic techniques. He had directly used mystic qi to fight. He had also lost. Because a reality had appeared in front of him. Yang Dingtian's cultivation had surpassed his. His cultivation was a 9-star 9th-grade revered martial artist. He was only half a step away from Grandmaster. And Yang Dingtian had easily defeated him. That meant that his cultivation had definitely broken through to Grandmaster. Dongfang Bingling had broken through to Grandmaster. Zhu Hongxue would only feel proud and honored. Because he had long regarded Dongfang Bingling as his destined wife. The stronger Dongfang Bingling was, the happier he was. Because he had conquered the most beautiful and powerful woman in the world. Yang Dingtian was his rival in love. Of course, Zhu Hongxue did not think so. He thought that the gap between him and Yang Dingtian was like heaven and earth. Just like a toad and a swan, he had never put Yang Dingtian in his eyes. He could crush Yang Dingtian to death with just a finger. Now, this ant was actually stronger than him. He had a better mystic fire than him. He had more mystic fire than him. He had a better sword than him. Even his cultivation was stronger than him. That meant that his talent and mystic meridians were stronger than him. To Zhu Hongxue, this was completely earth-shattering. His pride had completely collapsed. His view of the world had completely collapsed. Moreover, young Ding Tian had only been practicing martial arts for 3 years. He was only 22 years old this year. He was much younger than him. Zhu Hongxue, are you convinced now? Yang Dingtian asked coldly. Zhu Hongxue looked up at Yang Dingtian in a daze. The other party's voice seemed to ring in his heart, but also seemed to ring out from beyond the 9 heavens. Am I not that outstanding at all? Zhu Hongxue opened his mouth and muttered to himself. Am I very ordinary to begin with? It's just that everyone is trying to coax me because of my identity. Am I completely useless? Am I not worthy of bingling at all? Then what's the point of living? Yang Dingtian, you don't have to do it. I'll do it myself. Zhu Hongxue kept muttering to himself. Then, he suddenly raised his hand and struck his chest. He committed suicide in front of everyone. No! Yang Dingtian was horrified. He really didn't think that Zhu Hongxue would commit suicide in front of everyone. He thought that he would continue to quibble, continue to hypnotize, and continue to frame him. He didn't think that he would directly commit suicide. With the fastest speed, Yang Dingtian suddenly released the Devil Spirit Fiend Flames Icebound technique. However, Yang Dingtian was still a step slower. Because his profound veins were severely injured, the Devil Spirit Fiend Flames Icebound technique became slower and weaker. Zhu Hongxue's palms struck his own chest. Everyone clearly saw that his chest suddenly caved in, and then a mouthful of blood spurted out. Ah! Everyone let out a cry of surprise. But in the end, Yang Dingtian still used the icebound technique to freeze all of his movements and profound veins when he hit his chest. Then, Yang Dingtian quickly rushed over, took out 2 sacred water pills, and directly stuffed them into Zhu Hongxue's mouth. Then, he sat cross-legged behind Zhu Hongxue and desperately poured in his profound qi to circulate the medicinal power. Chunhua, quickly come over and move us into the room, Yang Dingtian said. Yes. Song Chunhua said. Then, she flew over and moved Yang Dingtian into the building. All disciples of Cloud Sky City, your performance just now disappointed me, Yang Dingtian said coldly as he healed Zhu Hongxue. All of you, kneel down. Suddenly, all the disciples in the plaza trembled and then knelt down in an orderly manner. All of you kneel like this. Think carefully about what you did wrong just now. Yang Dingtian said coldly. Wait, I will come over and ask. If you don't know what you did wrong, then kneel for me forever. Yes. The few thousand people in the plaza answered in unison and knelt on the ground in an orderly manner. Song Chunhua moved Yang Dingtian and entered the building. Qin Huayu and the rest also followed in. The door of the building was closed. The plaza outside was completely silent. The few thousand people were kneeling in an orderly manner to reflect. Yang Dingtian crazily channeled celestial qi into Zhu Hongxue's body, urging his extremely weak vitality to circulate. This crazy Zhu Hongxue had not only shattered all of his ribs, he had also shattered his own heart. Luckily, Yang Dingtian used the ice seal technique to freeze him. Otherwise, his heart and internal organs would have turned into a pile of mush and he would have died a long time ago. But even so, he was only a hair's breadth away from death. In other words, if Yang Dingtian hadn't given him the sacred water elixir at the first moment, he would have died long ago. He was actually so resolute in committing suicide. Of course, even if Yang Dingtian tried his best to save him, Zhu Hongxue was still lingering on the edge of death and could die at any time. That vitality was really weak to the extreme. At this moment, his entire body's functions had completely stopped. Therefore, the flow of vitality was completely dependent on Yang Dingtian's celestial qi. At this moment, Yang Dingtian was about to race against Zhu Hongxue's death god. If he could outrun him, he could let the sacred water elixir's medicinal power gradually recover his body's organs. If he couldn't outrun him, Zhu Hongxue would undoubtedly die. Time flew by quickly. 15 minutes. 30 minutes. 1 hour. 2 hours. Yang Dingtian's face became paler and paler, and his body trembled more and more. His celestial qi was already exhausted. Originally, his celestial meridians were already damaged from Zhu Hongshue's last attack. At this moment, he didn't have a large amount of celestial qi to heal Zhu Hongshue's injuries. Qin Huayu, come to my back and inject celestial qi. My celestial qi is exhausted. Yang Dingtian said. Just as he finished speaking, he spat out a mouthful of blood. Immediately, the celestial qi circulating in Zhu Hongshue's body stopped. Almost at the same time, Zhu Hongshue's body trembled, and he was about to die in an instant. Yang Dingtian used all his strength to inject the last of his celestial qi. Yes! Qin Huayu flew over quickly and placed his palm on Yang Dingtian's back, injecting thick celestial qi. Why didn't he let Qin Huayu directly inject celestial qi into Zhu Hongxue? Because his celestial qi had impurities. If it directly entered Zhu Hongshue's body, Zhu Hongxue might not be able to withstand it. His celestial meridians weren't as strong as Yang Dingtian's. After passing through Yang Dingtian's body, he could use the yin-yang qi transformation technique to turn it into pure celestial qi. Qin Huayu was a master stage expert. Another 2 hours passed. 3 hours. Qin Huayu's celestial qi was completely exhausted. However, Zhu Hongxue still couldn't be saved, and he was still hovering on the edge of death. Chunhua, you take over. Yang Dingtian said, Qin Huayu, take the profound gathering pill and recover your celestial qi as quickly as possible. Yes. Qin Huayu said. Song Chunhua quickly sat behind Yang Dingtian and placed his palm on Yang Dingtian's back, injecting celestial qi. Qin Huayu took the opportunity to leave Yang Dingtian's back, then took a profound gathering pill and sat cross-legged to quickly condense celestial qi. City Lord Yang, can you save him? Song Chunhua asked. I don't know. It's a race against death. Yang Dingtian said, if we still can't save him after exhausting all of our celestial qi, then he can't be saved. Even if we can't save him, he's courting death. Zhu Qingzhu can't blame us. Song Chunhua said. I didn't save him because of Zhu Qingzhu. I saved him because of Zhu Hongxue. Yang Dingtian said, we didn't misjudge him. Although he's extremely conceited, he's still upright. If he can become our comrade, our chances of winning will be much higher. His martial arts talent is much higher than yours and Qin Huayu's. He and Bingling are almost the only 2 9th-grade celestial vein geniuses. Yes. Song Chunhua said, then we'll do our best. Song Chunhua's cultivation was a 2-star master stage expert, so she lasted longer than Qin Huayu. However, she only lasted for 4 hours. Zhu Hongxue still couldn't be saved. Qin Huayu, you take over. I'll go recover my celestial qi. Song Chunhua said. Okay. Qin Huayu said. Then, he immediately placed his palm on Yang Dingtian's back and transferred his celestial qi. Song Chunhua quickly moved to the side and swallowed a mystic gathering pill, desperately absorbing celestial qi. A full 10 hours later. Yang Dingtian had almost given up hope. Qin Huayu and Song Chunhua had already taken 2 mystic gathering pills, which had already damaged their celestial veins. Suddenly, the vitality in Zhu Hongshue's body stopped and began to circulate on its own. His life was saved. His life was finally saved. Yang Dingtian and the other 2 had almost used all of their strength to save his life. Yang Dingtian's heart relaxed and he removed his palm from Zhu Hongshue's back. Pfft. He couldn't help but spit a mouthful of blood on the back of Zhu Hongshue's neck. Zhu Hongshue's body suddenly trembled, as if he had been woken up by Yang Dingtian's hot blood. He opened his eyes. Then, he didn't say anything. He just sat there quietly, as if he had lost his reaction to everything. Yang Dingtian gently wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth and struggled to stand up. He came to the chair and sat down. He looked at Zhu Hongxue and said, "Now, are you quiet?" Zhu Hongxue nodded slightly. "It's good that you're quiet. I can tell you what I want to say next." Yang Dingtian said indifferently, "You're here to ask me about Bingling, right?" Zhu Hongxue nodded. "You're also very curious as to why I saved you, right?" Yang Dingtian asked. Zhu Hongxue still nodded. "I'll answer your second question first, then I'll answer your first question, okay?" Yang Dingtian said. Zhu Hongxue still nodded. "The reason why I saved you is not because I'm afraid of your father, but because of something that happened before, which made me recognize you again. I hated you before, but after that incident, I have some admiration for you. So I saved you because I admire your arrogance, but your upright and prideful character. Of course, there's also your almost unparalleled talent. I want to be your comrade in arms in life and death. I want you to become the pillar that saves the world." Yang Dingtian said indifferently, "I want to fulfill your true pride and fulfill your immortal life. I want to one day, when I'm in battle, I can leave my back to you without hesitation and entrust my life and death to you." Suddenly, Qin Huayu's body shook violently. He looked at Yang Dingtian in disbelief. Chapter 430. What about Bingling? Zhu Hongxue asked after a long time. Yang Dingtian was silent for a moment, then said, "Before I answer your question, can I answer one of yours first?" "Okay." Zhu Hongxue said. "In your heart, is Bingling more important, or is the Taiyando League more important?" Yang Dingtian asked. "What do you mean?" Zhu Hongxue asked. "You don't have to know what I mean, just answer me." Yang Dingtian said. Zhu Hongxue fell into deep thought, then said, "Bingling is more important." Instantly, Yang Dingtian was stunned, and so were the others. Yang Dingtian asked in disbelief, "If you were to make a choice, one is Bingling's death, the other is evil ways completely destroying the world. Which would you choose?" Zhu Hongxue was silent for a moment, then said, "Evil ways should completely destroy the world." Instantly, Yang Dingtian was even more shocked. This Zhu Hongxue was not only conceited, but he was also an extreme romantic. But, if evil ways took over the world, where would Bingling and you be safe? Yang Dingtian said. "The world is so big, where can't I go? Evil ways can't control every inch of land." Zhu Hongxue said. Yang Dingtian saw that he was being so negative, and couldn't help but be angry. "Zhu Hongxue, where are your ambitions? You're the youth leader of the Taiyando League, the idol of the world, and the future leader of the Black Heaven sect. Where's your pride?" Zhu Hongxue said, "In the past, I might have been the leader of the world's youth, the idol of the world. But after the battle with you, I've become a disgrace. Wherever I go, I can't raise my head. What's the point of talking about pride and ambition?" Yang Dingtian was speechless. Previously, he thought that in order to convince Zhu Hongxue, he had to hurt him. Otherwise, he would be too arrogant and conceited. He had to completely destroy his pride in order to subdue him. Who would have thought that he would actually walk to the other extreme? He actually went from extreme conceit and pride to extreme depression. He even wished he could change his appearance and never appear in front of the world again. Sigh. Yang Dingtian couldn't help but sigh. Perhaps Xu Qingzhu had protected him too well, or perhaps his life had been too smooth, so he couldn't bear such a huge setback. "Where's Bingling?" Zhu Hongxue asked again. "She's not dead," Yang Dingtian said. "She's in the hands of the Temple of Annihilation." Zhu Hongxue suddenly stood up and looked at Yang Dingtian. "Then why are you still sitting here? Why aren't you going to save her?" "If you're not going, I'll go." After saying that, he actually wanted to rush out. "Sit down!" Yang Dingtian shouted. Then, Yang Dingtian had a headache. Previously, he had great hopes for Zhu Hongxue. He hoped that he could become the right-hand man to resist the evil ways and become Yang Dingtian's strongest ally. But now, it seemed that his mentality was too immature. Not to mention Qin Huayu and Song Chunhua, he was even worse than the little princess vulture. The little girl vulture was naive and didn't have a bottom line. Her thinking often went off the rails. She couldn't control her own thoughts and wanted everything she saw. But in fact, the little girl was very smart and even very intelligent. In this team, Yang Dingtian didn't have to spend too much effort to take care of her. She could even make a huge contribution to the team. But this Zhu Hongshue's mentality was too immature. After being defeated by Yang Dingtian, his mentality had completely collapsed. And basically, he had no reaction to saving the world. There was only Dongfang Bingling in his mind. Originally, Yang Dingtian wanted to tell him about Zhu Qingzhu. But now, this thought was completely dispelled. There were probably only two people in this handsome guy's mind. One was his father, whom he was proud of, and the other was Dongfang Bingling, whom he adored. Facing such an immature Zhu Hongxue, Yang Dingtian was really at his wit's end. Zhu Hongxue, sit down, okay? Yang Dingtian said helplessly. I haven't finished speaking. Can you at least finish listening to everything about Bingling? Hurry up and say it. Zhu Hongxue looked at Yang Dingtian with a burning gaze. His whole mind was immersed in the name of Dongfang Bingling. First of all, Dongfang Bingling's real master is Nihility Piao Ling, the leader of the hidden sect. Yang Dingtian said. After hearing this, Zhu Hongshue's body shook. His eyes lit up and his handsome face was filled with pride. Yang Dingtian was really speechless. Dongfang Bingling's master was the leader of the hidden sect. What did it have to do with Zhu Hongxue? Was there a need for him to be so excited and proud? So, Dongfang Bingling is the future leader of the hidden sect and the leader of the Tiando League. Yang Dingtian saw that Zhu Hongshue's face was so red that it was glowing. Yang Dingtian immediately stopped. You should have heard about the love between the leader of the Temple of Annihilation, Wan Wentian, and Nihility Piao Ling, right? Yang Dingtian asked. Zhu Hongxue nodded. Everyone in the world knew about this. It could be said that if it wasn't for the fact that Nihility Piao Ling was Wan Wentian's only love, the Tiando League wouldn't have been able to win the War of Extinction 200 years ago. So, even if Nihility Piao Ling and Wan Wentian had a love affair, it didn't affect Nihility Piao Ling's greatness. Now, the young master of the Temple of Annihilation, Li Ming, has come to the world because of the love between the previous leaders of the Temple of Annihilation and the leader of the hidden sect. So, the young master of the Temple of Annihilation, Li Ming, has always regarded Dongfang Bingling as his exclusive property. He thinks that he is Bingling's only man. Yang Dingtian said. Dream on, is he worthy? Zhu Hongxue was furious. He suddenly pulled out his sword and shouted, I'll cut that bastard into pieces. Yang Dingtian was speechless. Luckily, he didn't say that he and Bingling had already become husband and wife. Otherwise, Zhu Hongxue would have immediately pulled out his sword. You also know that after the misunderstanding between me and junior sister Dongfang was resolved, our relationship improved a lot. Especially in the Dongli grassland, I accidentally saved her life. So, after returning to the northwest continent, junior sister Dongfang repeatedly helped me. Yang Dingtian carefully worded his words. He was afraid that he would say that his relationship with Bingling was too intimate and trigger Zhu Hongshue's sensitive mind. After hearing this, Zhu Hongshue's expression didn't look too good, but he still nodded in agreement. However, this still angered the young master of the Temple of Annihilation, Li Ming. He regarded junior sister Dongfang as his exclusive property and didn't allow her to have any contact with other men. Junior sister Dongfang helped me, so he saw it as a betrayal. So, he ordered his lackeys to release the Soul Eater Devil on Bingling. Yang Dingtian said. After hearing this, Zhu Hongxue flew into a rage. He clenched his teeth and hissed, I'll kill him, I'll kill him, I'll tear him into pieces. Shameless, despicable, lowly bastard, he's worse than a dog or a pig. How dare he touch Bingling? Yang Dingtian finally understood why Zhu Hongxue kept on calling them lowly creatures that were inferior to pigs and dogs. In his eyes, other than Zhu Hongxue, all men were lowly bastards. In this world, only he was worthy of Bingling. They were a match made in heaven. The lackeys who released the Soul Eater Devil on Bingling came from the Ning clan of the South Sea. Yang Dingtian said. Suddenly, Zhu Hongxue's eyes flashed. He was sure that he would fight the Ning clan of the South Sea to the death. Have you heard of the Soul Eater Devil? Yang Dingtian asked. Zhu Hongxue nodded and said, I've heard of the Soul Eater Shen energy. Once you're hit by it, you'll become a bloodthirsty demon. Yang Dingtian said, the Soul Eater Devil was modified by Wan Wentian based on the Soul Eater Shen energy. Once you're hit by the Soul Eater Devil, you'll become a succubus within a month at most. You'll lose your will and your entire body will be controlled by the Temple of Annihilation. You can probably imagine the consequences. Zhu Hongxue's face instantly turned red. Thinking that Bingling might become a succubus and fall into the hands of the Temple of Annihilation's young master, Li Ming, Zhu Hongxue's heart ached. He didn't dare to imagine that scene, that ending. Yang Dingtian continued, Junior sister Dongfang was framed by the shameless Li Ming because of me, so I had to find the antidote for her. So, I found the person who used the Soul Eater Devil on junior sister Dongfang. He was the young master of the Ning clan of the South Sea, Ningyu. He was already dead, but the Temple of Annihilation injected evil energy into him and revived him. I heard that he was in Sky Demon City. So, junior sister Dongfang and I went to Sky Demon City to find Ningyu to save her. And then? Zhu Hongxue asked. Ningyu's heart was complicated, and he regretted it. He told me how to save her, but in exchange, I had to save the Ning clan of the South Sea from the Temple of Annihilation. Yang Dingtian said, now, junior sister Dongfang can be saved. Zhu Hongxue's face immediately lit up with joy. But at that time, the bastard son of the Ning clan of the South Sea, Ning Wuming, the most vicious dog of the Temple of Annihilation's young master, sent 4 elders to kill me and Bingling. They wanted to capture Bingling and offer her to the young master of the Temple of Annihilation. Bingling's cultivation had completely disappeared, and her entire Qi Si was controlled by the Soul Eater Devil. But you know her personality. She would rather die than live in dishonor. She relied on her own will to suppress the evil energy that was controlling her body and fought the 4 Grandmaster Elders. She took me and broke out of the encirclement. At that time, Ningyu detonated his Qi Si and died together with the 4 Elders. Bingling's Qi Si was completely shattered, and she was on the verge of death. Zhu Hongxue's face was covered in tears. He clenched his fists so hard that his nails pierced his flesh, causing blood to flow. Ning Wuming, I will definitely put you to death by 1,000 cuts, 1,000 cuts. Then, I took Bingling and escaped from Sky Demon City to the outskirts. When I saw her covered in blood and her Qi Si completely shattered, I was scared out of my wits. I wanted to save her, so I lifted her clothes and checked her Qi Si. However, the despicable Ning Wuming sent people to follow me and recorded everything using the Jade Mirror. Then, he slandered me by saying that I was the one who caused junior sister Dongfang's death and even molested her. Yang Dingtian looked at Zhu Hongxue and said, Zhu Hongxue, do you believe it? Would I defile junior sister Dongfang? Would I be able to kill junior sister Dongfang? Zhu Hongxue looked at Yang Dingtian and nodded vigorously. Impossible. Bingling is a fairy from the heavens, no one dares to defile her. That's right. Yang Dingtian said, and most importantly, even though junior sister Dongfang was seriously injured at that time, she was as pure as jade and as pure as ice. If I was disrespectful to her, would she not have any reaction? She would have killed me with a slap. Zhu Hongxue's eyes lit up. That's right. Bingling is so pure, how could she allow others to defile her? Previously, Yang Dingtian was worried that he would not be able to explain to Zhu Hongxue about Bingling. He was worried that Zhu Hongxue would suspect that he had done something to Bingling. Now, Yang Dingtian finally found out. Convincing Zhu Hongxue was the easiest thing to do. He did not need to explain how pure he was, as long as he described Bingling as extremely powerful and noble, it would be enough. As for the rest, Zhu Hongxue would fill in the blanks himself. Even if there were any flaws, Zhu Hongxue would fill in the blanks himself. Now, Qin Chichi married Ning Wuming. Leng Yanmei took control of Sky Phoenix Pavilion and slandered me for defiling Bingling and causing her death. Do you believe it? Yang Dingtian asked. Impossible, Zhu Hongxue said firmly. Then, they started the Tiando League's Northwest Conference to expel Cloud Sky City from the Tiando League. Then, they let the Ning clan of the South Sea join the Tiando League. Is there anything more ridiculous than this? The people who framed junior sister Dongfang, the lackeys of evil ways, actually want to control our Tiando League. Can we let them succeed? This group of shameless people who framed Bingling? Yang Dingtian said sternly. In your dreams. Zhu Hongxue slammed the ground, instantly smashing the hard stone floor into pieces. At this moment, Qin Huayu and Song Chunhua could not help but look at each other. Their expressions were slightly strange. It was really difficult for Yang Dingtian to deal with an extremely proud and naive person like Zhu Hongxue. Luckily, Yang Dingtian was able to grasp the crux of the matter and quickly find a breakthrough point. He used Dongfang Bingling to pull Zhu Hongxue's extreme hatred towards the Ning clan of the South Sea, Leng Yanmei, and the young master of the Temple of Annihilation. He did not use the so-called righteousness and the survival of the chaotic world to persuade him. And then? Zhu Hongxue asked. Then, Bingling saw her energy reserve shatter. Even if we used Ning Ruo's method, it would not be able to save her. But I was determined not to give up, so she said there was one last way, which was to find her master, the master of the hidden clan, Su Wu Piaoling, Yang Dingtian said. Zhu Hongxue was shocked and said, that's right. Master Su Wu is the best in the world. He must have a way. Yang Dingtian continued, then, Bingling and I went to the northernmost Yin Yang mirror. She said she met Master Su Wu there. But when we passed through the north, we met a shameless scoundrel called Yen Pianxin. He was a very disgusting cripple and had been pestering Bingling for many years. I know him. This bastard is worse than pigs and dogs. He should take a look at himself in the mirror. He is a toad that wants to eat swan meat. Zhu Hongxue was full of disdain and hatred. If he had not helped Bingling in the past, I would have torn him to pieces. Bingling took me to the Yin Yang mirror. Then, we waited for Master Su Wu to appear. Time passed little by little, and the time until Bingling turned into a succubus was getting shorter and shorter. Yang Dingtian said, later, Bingling told me the truth. She said that Master Su Wu had no way to save her. On the contrary, if he knew that she had been poisoned by the soul-devouring devil, he would be the first to kill her. She said that she brought me to the Yin Yang mirror because she was afraid that the Yin sect would be completely cut off if she died. So, she wanted to introduce me to Master Su Wu so that I could inherit the Yin sect's legacy. Zhu Hongxue's expression changed slightly when he heard this. Obviously, he felt that the fact that Dongfang Bingling had brought Yang Dingtian was a huge blow to him. Yang Dingtian saw through his thoughts and said, Senior brother Zhu, you were tens of thousands of miles away at that time. Do you think junior sister Dongfang had a better choice? Also, ask yourself honestly, isn't my talent very high? Am I not a very good choice for junior sister Dongfang? If you have any thoughts about this, you are tarnishing Bingling's noble character. Immediately, Zhu Hongxue's face turned red. He looked ashamed and said, that's right. Your talent is very, very high. I shouldn't have such narrow-minded thoughts. Bingling told me that Master Su Wu would appear in a few days and asked me to wait at the Yin Yang mirror. However, she couldn't even make it through the night. The evil spirit energy had already reached her eyes and was about to take control of her entire body and turn her into a succubus, Yang Dingtian said. She told me to kill her the moment she turned into a succubus. She didn't want to fall into the clutches of the Temple of Annihilation's young master Li Ming. She didn't want to become a succubus who had lost her will. She didn't want her pure body to be silent in a dirty hell. At this point, Zhu Hongshue's entire body trembled and tears streamed down his face. I promised her that I would kill her before she turned into a succubus, Yang Dingtian said. Suddenly, Zhu Hongxue looked up and said with a sharp gaze, You killed her? How is that possible? How could I do it? Yang Dingtian sighed and said, If it were you, would you do it? Impossible. I would rather die than do it. A succubus is a succubus. I won't kill her. At least she's still here, Zhu Hongxue said with tears in his eyes. I thought so too. Yang Dingtian said, Subsequently, I watched her turn into a succubus with my own eyes. Then, she immediately pulled out her sword to kill me. Of course, I was no match for her and was about to be killed. At this moment, Uncle Master Ling Qingchen appeared and subdued Bingling, saving my life. He originally wanted to kill the succubus, Bingling, but he couldn't do it in the end, so he prepared to take me away. Right at this moment, that shameless scoundrel Yan Pianchuan appeared. Zhu Hongxue was stunned. Why did that dog Yan Pianxian appear here at this time? No matter how much I hated him, I still didn't want him to die and told him to run away. However, he directly attacked and Uncle Master Ling Qingchen couldn't move at all. Yang Dingtian said indifferently, Uncle Master Ling Qingchen was a grandmaster, but he was directly subdued by him. How is that possible? Zhu Hongxue exclaimed. Because Yan Pianxian is the Temple of Annihilation's young master, Li Ming, Yang Dingtian said. Zhu Hongxue trembled violently. His eyes revealed an expression of utter disbelief. He was thoroughly horrified. That dog is worse than a pig, is actually the Temple of Annihilation's young master? Zhu Hongxue hissed. Yes, Yang Dingtian said. Uncle Master Ling Qingchen was subdued and couldn't move at all. The succubus Bingling directly pierced Uncle Master Ling Qingchen's head with her sword. This elder, whom she regarded as her father, died directly under her sword. Zhu Hongxue was shocked and couldn't say anything. Then, what about Sect Master Su Wu? Why didn't she appear? Zhu Hongxue asked. Yang Dingtian was silent for a moment. He looked at Zhu Hongxue and said, Senior brother Zhu, what I'm going to say next is the world's most confidential secret. It will make the world despair and shock the world. Can I believe you? Of course, Zhu Hongxue said seriously. Don't tell me you doubt my character. Don't tell me you doubt Bingling's eyesight. Sect Master Su Wu appeared. Yang Dingtian said indifferently, She told me the secret of the hidden sect. It turns out that the hidden sect is not a force at all. There is only one person in each generation of the hidden sect. After Sect Master Su Wu, it should have been Bingling. However, Bingling became a succubus. Why didn't Sect Master Su Wu save her? Zhu Hongxue asked. Because, Sect Master Su Wu was also poisoned by the soul-devouring devil mystic more than 200 years ago. Then, she became the Queen Devil Queen in front of me. Yang Dingtian said indifferently, before she became the Devil Empress Undead Concubine, she had passed the position of the Hidden Sect Patriarch to me. She had also passed me the Hidden Sect's keepsake. Yang Dingtian took out the crystal sword and handed it to Zhu Hongxue. Zhu Hongxue took the crystal sword in a daze and muttered to himself, I know this crystal sword. How can this be? Even Sect Master Su Wu was demonized. Then what hope does the Tiando League have? Zhu Hongxue said. Yang Dingtian said, then, the Queen Devil Queen and the succubus Bingling disappeared. The young master of the Shrine of Extermination, Yan Pianxian, came before me. He said that he wanted to kill me, but he didn't want me to watch Bingling fall into his demonic hands. He wanted me to watch the world fall into his demonic hands. He wanted me to experience the despair of an egg hitting a rock. That was why he didn't kill me. He also promised me that the duel with Bingling 3 years later would take place as scheduled. If I could win, he wouldn't humiliate Bingling's body. Of course, before my duel with Bingling, he wouldn't touch Bingling either. When he said this, Zhu Hongshue's eyes lit up. There was more hope. To him, Bingling's innocence was the most important. Of course, young Ding Tian lied about this. In fact, after Bingling became Princess Mudan, she was second only to one person in the evil ways. She wasn't someone that the Temple of Annihilation's young Master Li Ming could humiliate. However, in order to make Zhu Hongxue angry, he could only say this. If he told Zhu Hongxue directly that Dongfang Bingling had become the princess of the evil ways, she would be second only to one person in the world. Perhaps Zhu Hongxue, this romantic, would directly side with her. In any case, the justice of the Tiando League wasn't very important to him. I clearly saw that when Bingling killed Martial Uncle Ling Qingchen, her eyes were filled with tears and incomparable pain. In my ears, her sorrowful voice rang. She said, "Senior brother, save me." Yang Ding Tian, and then tears fell. This wasn't an act. Every time Yang Ding Tian thought of this scene, his heart would be completely shaken. At this time, Zhu Hongshue's face was already covered in tears, and he was sobbing. "Senior brother Zhu, I asked you why I saved you just now. Actually, there's another reason." Yang Ding Tian said indifferently, "Do you know what it is?" "What?" Zhu Hongxue cried and trembled. "Because of Bingling." Yang Ding Tian said, "Before she became a succubus, she personally told me that before she died, there was one person she was most worried about, and that was you." Zhu Hongxue was shocked, and his eyes emitted a light that shocked Yang Ding Tian. "She said that you were a person with great talent and noble character. But you were too proud and conceited, and you were unyielding. She was really worried that you would take the wrong path and suffer losses." Yang Ding Tian said, "If she didn't die, she could still keep an eye on you. But if she died, no one would keep an eye on you. So, she told me to keep an eye on you and help you." Of course, Yang Ding Tian was lying. But it was very useful. Zhu Hongxue directly knelt on the ground, sobbing and wailing. Yang Ding Tian saw it even more clearly. Although Zhu Hongxue looked down on the world, but in front of Bingling, he lowered his position very, very low. He raised Bingling to the top of the 9 heavens and put himself in an extremely humble position. So, even if Bingling had a little bit of affirmation, it was enough for him to go through water and tread on fire. This person was really a sentimental person. His infatuation with Bingling was far greater than Yang Dingtian's. Moreover, he also knew clearly in his heart that Bingling had always been indifferent to him. But the more it was like this, the more infatuated he was. From the beginning to the end, he didn't care about anyone. However, as long as Yang Dingtian talked about Bingling, no matter how high her status was or how powerful she was, he didn't have the slightest bit of jealousy. He was completely proud and honored. "Senior brother Zhu, we have to save Bingling. We have to completely defeat that bastard Li Ming. We have to completely eliminate evil ways. We have to save Bingling. We have to let her return to being the fairy of the 9 heavens. We have to let her return to being the leader of the Tiando League. We have to save her." Yang Dingtian looked at Zhu Hongxue and said, "But, I can't do it alone. I only have Cloud Sky City, but the enemy is incomparably powerful. I'm already in danger. Senior brother Zhu, help me, okay?" Yang Dingtian said sincerely. Then, Yang Dingtian bowed to Zhu Hongxue. Zhu Hongxue was still crying on the ground. Then, he gradually calmed down. The light in his eyes began to condense, and the expression on his face began to become more determined. Evil ways and the Temple of Annihilation are absolutely irreconcilable. I swear, I will definitely kill the Ning clan of the South Sea and tear Ning Wuming into pieces. Then, Zhu Hongxue stretched out his hand to Yang Dingtian. Yang Dingtian stretched out his hand and said to Song Chunhua, "Chunhua, senior brother Qin, you guys come too." Immediately, Song Chunhua and Qin Huayu stepped forward. They raised their hands and clapped. Yang Dingtian said sternly, "We can't let junior sister Dongfang down. We can't let the Temple of Annihilation be complacent. Although our forces aren't weak, we have to let the demons of the Temple of Annihilation see clearly. We have to let that bastard Li Ming see clearly. Our Tiando League isn't dead yet. Our Tiando League still has heroes. Yes." Suddenly, their blood boiled. Yang Dingtian looked at everyone and said, "Since we're going to treat each other with sincerity, we'll become the kindling of justice in this world. Let's become sworn brothers of the opposite sex. How about it?" Yang Dingtian was still a little worried about Zhu Hongxue. Zhu Hongxue was too sensitive and naive. He had to completely hold him back. Yang Dingtian saw it clearly. Zhu Hongxue was an arrogant and conceited person. But once he fell in love, it wouldn't be easy to change. Therefore, he should be able to hold him back by using the relationship. When Yang Dingtian suggested this, Zhu Hongxue was instantly startled. "Senior brother Zhu, don't tell me you still look down on me in your heart?" Yang Dingtian said. Zhu Hongxue fell into deep thought. He realized that at this moment, he actually had a strange feeling about Yang Dingtian in his heart. Perhaps it was because Yang Dingtian's story with Bing Ling gave Zhu Hongxue a strong sense of immersion. He couldn't help but put himself in Yang Dingtian's shoes. Perhaps it was Bing Ling who entrusted herself to Yang Dingtian at the last moment. Not long after, they heard Vulture's excited voice. "Become sworn brothers and sisters of the opposite sex. Good, good, there's also Zhu Hongxue. That's even better. He's so handsome. But he really embarrassed himself yesterday. To think that I used to like him a little. Sigh, but seeing that he's so handsome, I'll forgive him for embarrassing himself yesterday." Hearing the little girl's unscrupulous words, Yang Dingtian's face instantly darkened. Zhu Hongxue's expression also became a little strange. The little girl is still young. She's only 16 or 17 years old. As her elder brother, you have to tolerate and protect her. Don't lower yourself to her level, Yang Dingtian said. Zhu Hongxue raised his head and said, "Of course. Why would I bicker with such a little girl?" Yang Dingtian glanced at him with incomparable certainty and admiration. However, he felt a little helpless in his heart. "Senior brother Zhu, actually, among these people, I'm the most worried about you. The one I have to tolerate the most is also you. Your mental age is the youngest." An hour later, Yang Dingtian was in the plaza of Cloud Sky City. He knelt down on a candlestick and lit incense. Qin Huayu, Song Chunhua, Zhu Hongxue, Yang Dingtian, and Vulture. The five of them knelt in front of the incense table. It was unknown whether it was intentional or not, but Qin Huayu and Song Chunhua directly surrounded Yang Dingtian in the center. Zhu Hongxue was on the far left, and Vulture was on the far right. Then, in front of all the disciples of Cloud Sky City, the five of them held incense and kowtowed. "I am Qin Huayu. I am Song Chunhua. I am Yang Dingtian. I am Zhu Hongxue. I am Vulture. From today onwards, we are brothers and sisters of the opposite sex. We may not be born in the same year, month, and day, but we hope to die in the same year, month, and day. From today onwards, we will live and die together. We will never betray each other. From today onwards, we will fight for justice. We will fight for the Tiando League. We will fight against evil ways to the end." Chapter 431. At this moment, there were only 5 people on Yang Dingtian's side. On the other side, there were more than 30,000 people. However, when Qin Huayu, Zhu Hongxue, and the others took off their armor and masks, these tens of thousands of soldiers did not think much of it. Instead, they felt that Yang Dingtian was too much of a bully. Only 5 people dared to charge over. Did they not exist? Therefore, they roared and continued to charge over. However, their feudal lords were all stunned. When Qin Huayu took off his mask, they were already stunned. Then, Song Chunhua and the others continued to be stunned. Finally, when Zhu Hongxue took off his mask, they had completely turned into wood as if they had been struck by lightning. What the hell is going on? What exactly happened? Didn't they say that Yang Dingtian had been abandoned by everyone? Didn't they say that Yang Dingtian was completely condemned by everyone and became the public enemy of the world? Why does it seem like he's so awesome and cool now? Who was Zhu Hongxue? The #1 youth leader in the world, the future master of the Black Sky sect. He could be said to be the most important person in the Tiando League. At this moment, he was shocked by Yang Dingtian's god-beating whip. Among the 5 of them, Yang Dingtian was standing in the middle. However, some of the lesser lords did not recognize these young lords of the major factions. They still roared and charged forward. However, when they saw that their companions had stopped moving and Tang Buizhao's face was full of defeat and trembling, they also stopped and looked around. When the tens of thousands of soldiers behind saw that the lords in front of them had stopped, they also quickly stopped. Instantly, it was a mess. Therefore, the mighty army of tens of thousands stopped, and Yang Dingtian's group of 5 charged forward. When he was 20 meters away from the rebel army, Yang Dingtian stopped. Looking at the overwhelming rebel army, he said indifferently, "I don't know what Tang Buizhao and the others said to you. I've been abandoned by everyone. I've become the public enemy of the Tiando League. Perhaps you don't know who these people beside me are. Brothers, introduce yourselves." Qin Huayu stepped forward and said loudly, "Northwest Qin City's young lord, Qin Huayu." Song Chunhua stepped forward and said in a clear voice, "Northern World Society's young master, Song Chunhua." Zhu Hongxue raised his head and said arrogantly, "Black Heaven Sect, Zhu Hongxue." The little Princess Vulture also raised her head and said, "Young master of the Vulture Palace, Vulture. By the way, my great-grandfather is Wolingzi." Instantly, Yang Dingtian and the others rolled their eyes at the little girl. At least half of the imposing atmosphere had been destroyed by this girl. The little girl stuck out her little tongue. If she didn't say her great-grandfather's name, it wouldn't be impressive enough. However, the effect was already very shocking. The tens of thousands of rebel soldiers were completely stunned. It had even begun to turn into admiration, intense worship, and a deep sense of inferiority. Speaking of inferiority, the disciples of Cloud Heaven City all felt inferior in front of Zhu Hongxue. On the other hand, the warriors of Cloud Sky City's territory were not as good as the warriors of Cloud Sky City's direct descendants. Normally, they didn't even have the qualifications to meet people like Qin Huayu and Song Chunhua. In the Northwest Tiando League, who is the pillar that holds up the sky? The Northwest Qin City and the World Society, but these 2 young masters are already my brother and sister. We live and die together. In the entire chaotic world, who is the pillar that holds up the sky in the Tiando League? Black Heaven Sect and Yinyang School. Yinyang School's headmaster is my master. Black Heaven Sect's young master is my brother. Saying that I've become the public enemy of the Tiando League, what a joke. Yang Dingtian said sternly, "Who said that?" Leng Yanmei, just a traitor who rose to power. Who does she think she is? The real leader of the Northwest Tiando League is Pavilion Master Duan Rian. Who is she? She's my most respected elder and my absolute ally. That's right, Yang Dingtian's words were very vulgar. It was as if he had a strong relationship with a certain important person and was trying to raise his status. However, there was no other way. The rebel soldiers in front of him fell for this trick. Yang Dingtian's method of raising the banner was the most effective. If he didn't raise the banner, was he going to reason with them and talk about justice? What a joke! Leng Yanmei, the traitor of Sky Phoenix Pavilion, Qin Chichi, the traitor of Qin City, and the evil Ning clan of the South Sea. They are the main culprits who slandered me, Yang Dingtian. They are destined to be nailed to the pillar of shame, destined to die under a knife. Are you going to stand with them? Yang Dingtian shouted coldly. The tens of thousands of rebel soldiers were silent. Their aura was completely suppressed by Yang Dingtian. Make your choice now. Are you going to stand with the traitor Ling Yanmei, Qin Shiqi, or the Tiando League? Yang Dingtian shouted sternly. Instantly, the nobles present trembled. Seeing that his side was completely suppressed, the new Iron Sword Fort Master couldn't hold back the hostility in his heart. He said, Yang Dingtian, don't raise the banner anymore. You're using these important people to suppress you. If you have the ability, use your strength to speak. What's your cultivation? You're just a beginner revered martial artist. You want to be the master of all of us here? As soon as he said that, the nobles present all showed their dissatisfaction. Yes, Qin Huayu and Zhu Hongxue are awesome. However, the city lord of Cloud Sky City is still you, Yang Dingtian. Shimen Wuya is so awesome. It's fine that we're suppressed by him. Now, you, a mere revered martial artist, want to suppress us? The new Iron Sword Fort Master continued, there are hundreds of lords here. There are at least 17 or 18 of them whose cultivation is higher than you, Yang Dingtian. Although I'm not the strongest, I'm still far stronger than you, Yang Dingtian. With your lousy cultivation, you have the nerve to give us orders? How about this, we won't attack Cloud Sky City. We'll leave Cloud Sky City. That's fine, right? As soon as he said that, the rebel nobles seemed to have found a solution. They shouted, yes, yes, we'll leave Cloud Sky City. Instantly, the Iron Sword Fort Master said proudly, don't say that we're bullying you. This world is so realistic. The weak are prey to the strong. Everyone hopes to rely on the strong. How about this, you and I fight. If you win, everything will go back to normal. If you lose, we'll all leave Cloud Sky City. We don't want the weak Cloud Sky City to ride roughshod over us. How about that? As soon as he said that, the rebel army's morale suddenly increased. In terms of status, we can't compare to you. However, in terms of cultivation, everyone here is much more powerful than you, a mere beginner revered martial artist. Even the new Iron Sword Fort Master was a 4-star revered martial artist. Although he couldn't compare to his father, he was more powerful than the previous Iron Sword Fort Master. However, his brain wasn't very good, so he couldn't become the Iron Sword Fort Master. However, a few months ago, the Iron Sword Fort Master was killed by Yang Dingtian, so he became the new Iron Sword Fort Master. If the next Duke challenged you, as the Cloud Sky City's lord, you didn't dare to accept. No matter how noble your status was, no matter how many important people you brought, Yang Dingtian's morale would be weakened. Immediately, the nobles looked at the Iron Sword Fort Master. They all said that his brain wasn't very good, but it didn't seem like it. Judging from his performance today, his brain was very good. Seeing everyone's gazes, the new Iron Sword Fort Master became even more proud. He walked out of the crowd and rushed in front of Yang Dingtian. He roared, Yang Dingtian, do you dare to fight with me? As long as you defeat me, we'll go back and continue to treat you as our lord. If you lose, then I'm sorry, but we'll have to leave Cloud Sky City. The new Iron Sword Fort Master stared coldly at Yang Dingtian with his bloody eyes. He suddenly raised his giant sword and roared, Yang Dingtian, do you dare to fight? The nobles behind him also shouted, Yang Dingtian, do you dare to fight? Hundreds of people shouted, trying to completely suppress Yang Dingtian's momentum. The Iron Sword Fort Master suddenly tore his robe, waved his giant sword, and roared at Yang Dingtian, Yang Dingtian, have you become a coward? Do you dare to fight? Yang Dingtian had heard that the new Iron Sword Fort Master's martial arts were better than his brother's, but his brain wasn't very good. Now, he knew what was wrong with this person's brain. Yang Dingtian, do you dare to fight with me? Don't you dare. Don't you dare. Ha ha ha. The Iron Sword Fort Master laughed wildly. Yang Dingtian looked at him indifferently. Get lost! Yang Dingtian shouted. Boom! Suddenly, there seemed to be a sudden thunder in the sky. Just Yang Dingtian's shout turned into a huge energy, which suddenly condensed into a giant dragon and swept toward the Iron Sword Fort Master. Bang! In an instant, the Iron Sword Fort Master's body shook violently, and then his huge and majestic body flew out directly like a straw. Puff! In the air, his body suddenly exploded, and he died without a complete corpse. All the dukes present were completely shocked. They looked at the scene in front of them in disbelief. Although the new Iron Sword Fort Master's brain wasn't very good, he was still a 4-star martial venerable. They thought that Yang Dingtian didn't dare to fight. They thought that Yang Dingtian couldn't defeat him. Who knew that he didn't even need to make a move? With a single shout, he had shattered his body into pieces. The energy of a shout easily shattered a 4-star martial venerable. This was even more than an instant kill. What kind of cultivation was this? How amazing was this? You're worse than pigs and dogs. What qualifications do you have to fight with me? Yang Dingtian raised his chin and said with incomparable contempt. Then, he said indifferently, all the lords and dukes of Cloud Sky City, you incited a rebellion, which is unforgivable. I order all of you to be put to death. However, the remaining tens of thousands of rebels, you are only bewitched, so you can be exempted from death. From now on, you are all direct warriors of Cloud Sky City. Every month, your salary will be doubled, and the land you own will be doubled. The outstanding ones can even enter Cloud Sky City's newly built Celestial Chi Condensation Array to cultivate. Now, make your choice. If you want to continue the rebellion, I will exterminate your 9 generations. If you want to completely surrender to me, take 10 steps back. Suddenly, the 30,000 rebels looked at each other. Although Yang Dingtian's words made them very tempted, they really didn't dare to move without someone taking the lead. No one is to retreat. The rebel lord said loudly, Yang Dingtian is lying to you. We have tens of thousands of people, and Cloud Sky City is no match for us. Double the salary, double the land, and Celestial Chi Condensation Array. They are all lies. Only by rushing forward and killing Yang Dingtian will we have a chance to survive. That's right. Charge forward and kill Yang Dingtian. Everyone, don't be afraid of him. Cloud Sky City only has a few soldiers. If they want to exterminate your 9 generations, they are dreaming. Aren't they afraid of biting their tongues? Suddenly, the tens of thousands of rebels began to hesitate. Qin Huayu stepped forward and sneered, Cloud Sky City doesn't have many soldiers, but Northwest Qin City has plenty. 100,000, 300,000, 500,000. As many as you want. If it's not enough, the world will send another 200,000 soldiers. Will it be enough to exterminate your 9 generations? When Qin Huayu said this, everyone's faces trembled. Qin Huayu said, also, the Tiando League headquarters will list all your clansmen on the world's wanted list. Even if your families escape to the ends of the earth, only death awaits. I want to see if you have the final say in the Tiando League, or if we have the final say. Yang Dingtian looked at the 30,000 rebels. Suddenly, he shouted, still not retreating. Do you want to die? Suddenly, it was as if a thunderclap sounded in the sky. This loud sound caused the earth to tremble. Everyone's eardrums almost burst. This power was even more shocking than when the Iron Sword Fort Master was killed. Bang! At the same time, an incomparably huge bolt of lightning struck down from the sky. The dozens of rebels in the center of the field were instantly turned into ashes. They were directly blown to pieces. Of course, this was the power of Yang Dingtian's lightning-type mystic skill, Demon Sky Splitter. However, many of the rebels thought that it was the power of Yang Dingtian's roar that caused the world to be angry. Suddenly, the tens of thousands of rebels trembled and quickly retreated. Once he retreated, there was no way to stop it. Like a tide, they retreated more than 10 steps. They were completely defeated. Many lords shouted, threatened, and even killed, but they could not stop the rebels from retreating. Suddenly, the tens of thousands of rebels completely drew a clear line between themselves and the hundreds of rebel lords. They left them there alone. Thus, all the rebel lords' aura weakened and felt incomparably weak. Kill them all. Leave no one alive, Yang Dingtian ordered calmly. Then, the 5 of them put down their masks and galloped. With Yang Dingtian as the leader, the 5 riders pierced into the group of rebel lords like an arrow. They pulled out their sharp swords and killed crazily. There was no suspense and no resistance. In incomparable horror, the heads of these rebel lords were cut off one by one. Yang Dingtian and the other 4 swept over. Blood spurted out and heads flew. In just a moment, dozens of nearly 100 rebels were slaughtered clean. Everyone was beheaded and died without a complete corpse. In fact, if these nearly 100 rebels were to gather together and fight to the death, they would not be completely powerless. Although they might still lose in the end, they would also cause a certain amount of trouble and damage to Yang Dingtian and the other 4. The combat strength of nearly 100 experts gathered together was still astonishing. However, the reality was a one-sided massacre. There was no resistance at all. It was because they were completely weak. Before the war began, their souls were almost scattered. Yang Dingtian's mysterious might and the identities of Vermilion Snow, Qin Huayu, and Song Chunhua suppressed them to the point that they almost could not breathe. Therefore, this battle was an absolutely lopsided battle. Over 100 rebels were wiped out. Among the people present, only Tang Bosheo was still standing. His legs were trembling and his entire body was trembling. He used all his strength to prevent himself from collapsing. Yang Dingtian turned his horse around and came in front of Tang Bosheo, looking at him indifferently. Tang Bosheo trembled and knelt on the ground. He said loudly, "My brave and great lord of Cloud Sky City, Tang Bosheo has finally fulfilled his mission and gathered these rebels together so that Master can eliminate them in one fell swoop. My Cloud Sky City is strong and immortal. I, Lord of Cloud Sky City, Yang Dingtian, have both literary and martial virtues. I benefit the common people and will last for thousands of years. My might will shake the world." Yang Dingtian was stunned and looked at Tang Bosheo in disbelief. It turned out that people could really be shameless to this extent. "Where's Shimanju?" Yang Dingtian asked indifferently. Instantly, Tang Bosheo said flatteringly, "That traitor seemed to have heard the news and escaped long ago. He must have gone to seek refuge with that bitch Qin Chichi." "Then what do you plan to do, traitor?" Yang Dingtian asked indifferently. Tang Bosheo's expression changed slightly. Then, he suddenly pulled out his dagger and swung it at his crotch. Instantly, blood spurted out. Tang Bosheo had completely become a eunuch. Yang Dingtian was really shocked. How could Tang Bosheo be so cruel to himself? After castrating himself, Tang Bosheo endured the unbearable pain and knelt in front of Yang Dingtian while trembling. He kissed Yang Dingtian's warhorse hooves and said in a trembling voice, "From now on, I am Master's loyal dog, the most lowly lackey. I am willing to do anything for Master." Then, he said in a low voice, "Also, I actually have an illegitimate daughter who is as beautiful as a flower. What's even more rare is that they are a pair of twins who look exactly the same." Yang Dingtian was completely speechless. This shameless person. Not only did he offer his own wife, he even offered his illegitimate daughter. Yang Dingtian listened to his shameless words and did not say anything. "Also, I know the direct descendants of these traitors. If you cut the grass without removing the roots, it will grow again when the spring breeze blows. I am willing to lead people to uproot them and let this 1,000-mile territory completely become Cloud Sky City's territory. The people of this 1,000-mile territory will no longer be persecuted. I will let them truly enjoy the glory of the city Lord God of Culture and Martial Arts," Tang Bosheo said. Yang Dingtian still did not say anything. Tang Bosheo continued, in the war between you and that bitch Qin Chi, and those pigs and dogs from the Ning clan of the South Sea. I can also be a surprise soldier. I am willing to do anything for my great master and show my humble and meager strength. A person who is shameless is invincible. This sentence is really true, Yang Dingtian said lightly. Then, Yang Dingtian rode his horse and arrived in front of the 30,000 traders. Whoosh! No one knew who started it, but the 30,000 traders all knelt down. In the end, the front was filled with kneeling traders. Not a single one of them was standing. I mean what I said. Yang Dingtian said lightly. All of you, sit where you are and wait. Cloud Sky City will send troops to settle you down and reorganize you. Tang Bosheo, come here. Yang Dingtian said. Yes. Tang Bosheo endured the pain and quickly ran over. He directly knelt in front of Yang Dingtian and said, Master, what orders do you have? You are familiar with the traders. Organize them into teams. 10 people make a small team, 100 people make a medium team, and 1,000 people make a large team. Every team has a captain. Also, you pick out 500 people with the best martial arts. You will be the temporary military commander and be in charge of the order of this 3-man army. Yang Dingtian said lightly, if one person runs away, kill all of his small team. If 2 people run away, kill all of their medium team. If 10 people run away, kill all of their large team. Yes. I will obey the orders of the city lord. Tang Bosheo knelt and said. These 500 soldiers can be the most direct army of Cloud Sky City in the future. They will enjoy 3 times the treatment of ordinary warriors. Yang Dingtian said. Suddenly, the 30,000 traders' eyes lit up and were filled with hope. After that, Yang Dingtian really didn't care about anything. He directly left with Qin Huayu and Song Chunhua. He handed over the 30,000 traders to Tang Bosheo. Of course, he only used a flying bird to send a message to Cloud Sky City and asked Shimenlai to send an army to reorganize and take over the traders. Yang Dingtian, why didn't you kill Tang Bosheo? He is really disgusting. Little Princess Vulture said, you must like to hear his flattery. Yang Dingtian said, he is still useful. Then you shouldn't have handed these 30,000 people to him. What if something happens? Vulture said, in a few hours, Shimenlai will bring people to take over this army. But he will only bring a few people, only 1 or 2,000. Along the Continental Bridge, they flew in the direction of the Northern Lands World Society. You're tuning into the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.